night.
Hell yeah, it is.
It's Friday. It's 4:45 p.m. on Friday. That counts as Friday night. It's happy hour somewhere.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Woo!
And this is the last thing I have to record this week. So as soon as you and I get done, I'm free.
We're getting drunk, baby. Separately.
Yes.
Separately drunk.
Yeah, in separate places, obviously.
Yeah, this was an enjoyable podcast. Get out of my place. I'm going to drink now.
Look, I'm going to get drunk and watch anime. Now, if you want to do that, you can stay, you can go, that's what's going to happen.
I know the anime you watch, Jeff. I don't want to get drunk and watch that with you.
Well, there you go.
Too many tentacles, am I right?
No, come on. That's what you get after you drank all the beers. Welcome back, everybody, to the RageSelect podcast here at RageSelect. I'm Jeff.
Hi, Amanda.
It was funny, Amanda. I was thinking this week, because, we start out the podcast and we're like, let's do some general stuff, before we get into the fucking metric crap load of news that happened last week.
Yeah.
And I was thinking this week, I was like, I didn't watch anything. I didn't do anything. And then my brain was like, hey, dumbass, there was a new fucking Star Wars show, and you watched 2 episodes of that. Why don't you talk about Obi-Wan for a second? And I was like, all right, I guess.
I watched Obi-Wan. I didn't, but you.
Yeah, I did, and it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, sometimes people who listen and watch RageSelect should be used to Jeff repeating himself, because I usually get stuck on like one concept for 6 months, and then I'll figure something. I'll get stuck on something else.
One, yeah.
But the thing is that Mandalorian Season 2, Book of Boba Fett, Rise of Skywalker, Rogue One, all of these were general disappointments to me. Like, not terrible, but just like, to the point where Star Wars is no longer this thing where I go in expecting to have my brains blown out with fucking amazing awesomeness.
Right.
And, like, there's some limits as to how bad anything can be if you turn on a camera and tell Ewan McGregor with a beard to step in front of it.
I've never seen a bad Ewan McGregor project ever. Even if you didn't like Birds of Prey, the Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
Like, he was phenomenal in it, because he just goes in and goes like, I don't think the script is particularly great. Well, I'm going to have fun with it.
Then I'm going to be gay.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, he's like, yeah. Exactly. It's just like, I'll just do whatever. And he's never bad.
Yep. And I've been watching. I mean, I remember, like, I saw Trainspotting in the theaters when I was a teenager, because that was like the big thing. And then, from there, like, all the different, who was in that? What was that called? Like Night Watch or something like that? Or it was like, or Night something, where he was like it was like an EMS dispatch or some bullshit like that. I don't remember, but I remember seeing him in a lot of stuff. Like, he was a weird indie dude in the 90s before he went and was Obi-Wan.
Yeah, he did like, if you want to watch weird stuff, A Life Less Ordinary, Velvet Goldmine.
Velvet Goldmine's great.
Velvet Goldmine's phenomenal. That fucking soundtrack is not on Spotify anymore, and it breaks my heart every day, because every song in that soundtrack is fantastic. And you can see his pee-pee in it. Yeah. Which is always fun. And
Obi-Wan Kenobi is
you could see his
old Ben.
You could see his full lightsaber on display, and Moulin Rouge, obviously.
Yes, which I have actually never watched to this day.
I love it. It is not an easy watch now. I loved it when I was a kid and it came out.
So yeah, I mean, I watched it. It was fine. I'm going to keep watching it. I mean, at this point, it's like, the thing has to be really bad for me to turn it off. Like, there are a couple complaints with Obi-Wan. I think the biggest one is that they've got, I mean, if you haven't watched it, this is very common knowledge. It's just in the first thing. There's little Leia is in here, and she's very precocious in her dialogue.
She's a sassy pants. The only thing I've seen is her clips of her. She's a little sassy pants.
Her dialogue is a little more mature than I would expect to come out of, like
10, 9,
like real young, like 8 or something like that. I don't know. She's real, lil.
She's a little.
But I like Obi-Wan. I like it. I kind of dig the fact that in the last season it was like Boba Fett made friends with all the Tusken Raiders, and in this one it's like Obi-Wan just has this like crappy Jawa that just keeps breaking into his place. Like, there's a scene where this Jawa breaks into his place and steals his shit, and then when he comes in, the Jawa's he's like, yeah, it seems like my thing broke down, and he's like, oh, I've got just the part for you. And he's like, if you're gonna steal shit from me, could you at least clean it before you sell it back to me? So I don't know, it's fine. it's fine. Like, it's not blowing anybody's nuts off.
I
but
feel like at this point, like, if you're expecting new from Star Wars, I mean, I tried. I was hopeful of like new, like I want to feel different, but like within the same world.
Yeah.
Like the most you can really hope for is just like you're visiting old friends.
I tell you what, Chris and I, we were recording this video last week, and we were recording, I think it was in the second part of that cow the kangaroo, and like I kind of had this idea for just like, what if there was like, in this same time period where the Jedi are being hunted, what if there was like a guy that got kicked out of the Jedi Academy because he didn't want to be like celibate or whatever, and he doesn't really know how to use the Force, and he's kind of like, I don't know, it's unclear whether or not he even does have the Force.
Yeah.
And now he just works as this like alcoholic private detective on Coruscant, and like people are bringing him as trouble, and like he keeps running into the Empire, but they're not sure whether he's actually a Jedi, and like the audience isn't sure whether he's not using the Force powers all the time.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh well,
like, does he have just good instincts, or
is he reading people's minds? Yeah. And like, I don't know, maybe he's got like a droid leg or something that got blown off, and he's a boozing. He's always trying to hit on the ladies, but they're not having any part of that.
I'm into that. I would watch the shit out of that.
And then I was watching Obi-Wan, and my brain kept drifting off to this concept, and then I was like, and I want his partner to be, you know, those really skinny stick droids. It's just like a stick with treads at the bottom,
like Alan Tudyk's droid almost. Oh no,
he was a big bulky guy.
Yeah, no, but I know which ones you're talking.
Yeah, the ones that just kind of like rolling by in like the original Star Wars. I want that to be like, you know, like his informant on the street is like a shady stick droid, and like I wanted his receptionist to be a Gamorrean, but with like a blonde fucking bouffant to like a lady. We've never seen the lady Gamorreans, right? Like what? And she can talk, like she can't just like grunt, but she's like, you know, fucking working the desk, and she's like.
I feel like you could make this happen. Why do you like dangle this carrot that will never be in front of us?
I'll tell you what the problem is. There's no established character to hang that off of, and that appears to be what they want to do. Like, I'm not even opposed to that Cassian Andor show. Like, the trailer for it looked kind of cool, but like, just make up some, like, the most successful thing that you've done is The Mandalorian, and we'd never heard of that guy. I mean, you know, he had the Boba Fett thing, right? But like, you know, make your private detective guy have the black vest like Han Solo. Boom, that's enough for Star Wars fans, right? Like, you know, make it be from Corellia, and he mentions that fucking Solo piece of shit that we grew up together. And his name isn't actually Solo, okay? His name is Jimmy Franklin, and we grew up on Corellia.
He was like, I'm going to change my name. Han Solo sounds like a rock star.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. It, like, again, it is fine. I think the big thing is that this week the boys started back up, and I actually like the boys quite a bit, so I kind of want to see where that goes.
I'm not a fan of the boys, but the Jensen Ackles doing the Captain America.
I haven't seen that.
It's the only thing I've seen, and I'm like, okay, all right, that's kind of funny.
I alluded to it last week, but I've also gotten several Mexican pizzas from Taco Bell since that time period.
Yeah,
I'm a little mad about how
and you're still here,
are.
So that's nice.
Well, here's the thing. They're real expensive, and usually when I go to Taco Bell, I'll get whatever the $5 thing is, and then I'll add like 2 more burritos on top of it, right? And that is always way too much Taco Bell. Whereas like a Mexican pizza and 2 tacos and like 1 more burrito is like $10, but that's like not an unreasonable amount of Taco Bell to the point where you feel like you're gonna die after you get done eating it.
If I don't feel like I'm gonna die, was I even eating at a Taco Bell?
Yeah, I've started to be like, I wish there was a place, because I always seem like I get done with everything I need to do for my life and RageSelect and whatever. I always seem to be getting done at like 11 o'clock when like there's no respectable restaurants open and the grocery store just closed. And I'm like, you know what, man, I could use like a salad or like.
I just discovered that HEB does salads for only $4, which I don't know if that feels expensive to other people, but it feels real cheap to me. You can literally get a $4 sandwich and a $4 salad, which is way too much food.
Yeah.
And for $8, which you would normally spend 8 to 10 at like a Taco Bell, you get delicious fucking food and too much of it, and you don't feel like a bad person by the end of it. It's just a salad and a sandwich.
The only problem with those, I used to get those salads and eat them when I was drunk, but I used to get them 2 at a time, and it's like you have to eat that salad the same day you get it, because the next day you start to get that slimy salad.
Yeah.
And that's no good.
Well, because I get out of work at like 6 a.m. So
they just finished making them?
Just open, and they just finished making it, and I'm getting it for my lunch. So I literally go to HEB on my way home from work, get my salad, sometimes my sandwich, sometimes just a salad, and then go home and just hoover a fucking salad at like 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then that's it. And then I go to sleep, and I try not to wake up until it's time to go back to work.
Yeah.
Which is not how that works, but it's what I want it to work like.
Well, outside of salads, have you done anything over the last week worth noting? Watching, listening to?
I haven't watched much of anything. I haven't watched anything.
Okay.
Except for one short from Love, Death, Robots.
Oh, okay. Which
Death,
one?
Love, Robots.
Love, Death, Robots. Yeah.
Robots, Love, and Death.
You had it right the first time.
I know. It's just because I don't watch it. It's Jabaro, I think it's called.
Oh, yeah. The last one in the third season.
Oh, my God.
With the knight and the siren.
The siren.
Yeah.
It's fucking beautiful.
Yeah. It's very weird.
Yeah.
It's like got the contrast just cranked in.
Yeah. The just like use of for especially for an animation, the use of like losing focus, like it's a handy cam, like just when she's screaming out and like causing death and destruction around her.
Yeah.
The use of just like the camera doesn't stay in focus. The camera's constantly moving. It's so chaotic. But then when you're seeing what you're seeing, it's fucking beautiful.
Yep.
I loved it.
I really one of the things that I really liked about that I thought was really interesting was when she screams. Like normally you would think of the scream as like a thing that goes away from, but it's like when she screams, the reation of everybody around her is inadvertently jerking towards her in this real kind of weird way. And I really like season 3 of Love, Death, and Robots.
Everyone was telling me that it was really good, but like I've also heard that like that was the one to watch, and I had seen clips from it, and I was so entranced by the visuals of it.
If you want, and the thing is that most of season 3 is like 20 minutes long, but there's one that's 7 minutes long that is just a zombie apocalypse. It's shot in multiple very short little scenes, but they're all done in that do you know what the tilt shift style? So they're all done like that. Like you're looking down on like a tiny little model of people running around. It starts with these people like fucking in a graveyard, and then the Walking Dead come out, and then it goes to like a city street and various different like little scenarios, and it's 7 minutes long. So
does it feel like you're watching toys attack each other? Because tilt shift always makes me feel like they're little babies.
There's a YouTube channel that does that for video games that is really they look amazing whenever they do it. Let's fucking I've seen it before. I actually talked about it on one of the other shows, but if anybody didn't
Oh, and you know what else I watched? Now, because I see on the YouTube, now that you pulled it up, is the Bo Burnham's outtakes for Inside.
Yes.
Which I also sent you. I was like...
Flirde. Flurdeh. So, like, here's, like... Elden Ring.
Oh my God,
like,
it's so cute. I bet I'd play it if it was like
like tilt shifted Elden Ring. And they use all these like camera tricks, and they do it for a bunch of different games, like Red Dead Redemption and stuff like that. And so it all just looks really good. They also just have
that's adorable
videos where they just like zoom way in on stuff and just kind of make these like videos just showing how beautiful certain games are.
Yeah,
and
this is
really
great.
cool.
I mean, the change of perspective.
And the frame rate, they kind of like slow down the frame rate, so it's kind of stop animated.
Yeah, it just changes everything almost, like in a sense. Yeah.
I don't know how they do it.
A little Pope turtle.
Turtle Pope.
I love him.
That Turtle Pope is so big.
Right now, he's huge. So cute. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, the Bo Burnham stuff was interesting. I normally when I see outtakes, I think of like I flubbed a line and like and that was like not what this was.
No, it was like total alternative usage. John's the thing that tickled John the most about it was how many Jeffrey Bezos songs are just
Right.
He had to have spent like
so
a week just making Jeffrey Bezos songs.
Yes.
There's so many of them.
And what's interesting is that's like one of the least complicated and or effective songs, at least for me, in Inside. And there were just so many different versions
it was just taunting him.
It was interesting. I forgot when it came out. I don't remember when Inside came out.
It was a year ago.
Oh, really?
He released the outtakes for the 1-year anniversary.
Oh, so it was in 2021.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then that makes more sense about the one song that I kind of wish was in it with the they're going to make me vote for Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Song was kind of great. Well, not talking about politics. Let's talk about Sony because they had a big old state of play this week, and I'm hoping that we can get through it relatively quickly. I don't know how much Amanda hasn't had a chance to see this yet.
I watched none of it.
But they started out, they got me. They started out with this kind of like R, and I was like, because one of the rumors was that they were doing Red Dead Redemption 2 like next gen updated.
Oh.
But it was actually the first look at that Resident Evil 4 remake.
Oh.
Now, I have said it before, and I will say this again. I will continue saying it all the way up to the point when Resident Evil 4 remake comes out. I don't have any problem with the idea of remaking Resident Evil 4, but to me, it should be way lower on the list of remakes.
Yeah.
Because RE4 holds up. Like even the console versions, just like they hold up insanely well even today. And the idea that you're going to need to remake them.
And this is a remake, like
it's like the RE2 remake.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I really, to be honest, like, okay, I know that some people may probably disagree with me on this, but like I would much rather have had them remade Code Veronica, because Code Veronica has really only ever been like a PS1 game, or even RE1. Like I know there is an RE1 remake, but like having an RE1 remake in the really ultra detailed style that they have for the RE2 make with the new RE engine, I think would have been because if you remade RE1, you could have played 1, 2, 3. If you did Code Veronica, like there's a weird Code Veronica kind of wraps up the like Chris Redfield, Jill Valentine thing for a while,
right?
Until they until Chris comes back in 5, and Jill comes back in 5 as well, I believe. She's got the thing on her chest, the Wesker's controlling her with. She's got blonde hair now.
Oh, right, yeah.
Got the cat suit, yeah. So I kind of wish that they would have done that, because that you could have had 1, 2, 3, 4 Code Veronica, or 1, 2, 3 Code Veronica, as opposed to jumping here.
Is there demand for Code Veronica though? Like, I mean, I remember it being popular back in the day, but I don't really hear a lot of people talk about it now.
So yeah, I think that's the reason why they didn't, is because RE2 is well beloved. RE1 had already been remade. Once they remade RE2, because RE3 is kind of a mod for RE2, it's like they were able to crank out Nemesis without too much difficulty,
right, and
reuse a lot of the assets. And then it's like, if you're doing Code Veronica, you have to start over. You can't use the Raccoon City assets for that weird base that they're in Code Veronica.
Yeah.
And if you're going to redo it from scratch, you might as well do something like RE4 that has more name value, more like cachet amongst the Resident Evil fandom. But again, I almost really would have rather them done I would almost rather them go directly to RE5 and remake it to make it a better game than spend time dicking around with 4 when 4 is perfectly fine the way it is. I mean, there was that group. I mean, Michael and I did a video for it. There was this group that spent like 3 years compiling like a super HD texture pack for RE4 that replaces every single texture in the game, where they literally went to like places in Europe that Capcom went and took like pictures of like church doors to use, and they would go with like 4K cameras to take like super high resolution pictures.
That's awesome.
And then replace that stuff in there. Like, it looks great. Now, it's interesting because like there's this point in this trailer, should probably actually talk about the trailer, where like it looks like what's her face, President's daughter, is that Ashley?
Oh my God, I can't believe I don't remember her name.
What is her name? RE4. Just so you don't have to write it in the comments, I'll look it up.
Write it in the comments. time yourself. Did you do it? Write it in the comments and then be like, I typed it out before you said it.
Ashley Graham.
Ashley Graham.
She does appear to be older, at least to my eyes.
Like they aged her up a bit.
Which, because I think there is some weird.
Like
innuendo that goes on between Ashley and like the villains and Ashley and Leon, and I think that she was pretty young in the original.
I was trying to look up the original, and I looked up Ashley Graham Resident Evil, and it auto-completed to annoying.
But like, okay, so I think that like if you look at this trailer, I don't know if this is for sure, but like there's this point at the very beginning where you see you see Ashley, and then you see Leon like walking up to a house, and I'm thinking that this might be like that first house in Resident Evil 4. And you know how it was kind of like in the middle of a semi-wooded area, but because it was an older game, it wasn't like Alan Wake woods. It was like PS2 woods, right? And the idea that it's like if this is going to be like a much more kind of enclosed, claustrophobic, like you can see behind the village how dense the forestry is back there, but like that one little shot of the village that looks very much like the main village with the tower, the first village that you go to. It's got the guy cop burning in the middle, the big clock tower, the different places to go. So I mean, the thing is, I don't have any like problem with this. It's just that.
Yeah, I mean, it looks beautiful. It's just, was it necessary?
As someone, RE4 is like one of my favorite games of all time, and I think it's one of the best horror games that's ever been made. And part of me also wants to know whether, like, in RE2 remake, you could move and shoot. Right. And like in RE4, you could aim, but you couldn't move. Right. And like you didn't have a reticle on the screen, you just had the laser. And all of those mechanics like really made the game more claustrophobic, like because you were rooted to the ground when you were aiming. And I'm not saying that you can't do that, but I'm just like it was all sewn together in a way that it feels like if you change one thing, then you're gonna have to change like the enemy designs because your character's gonna be able to move now. Yeah. And if you change the enemy designs, you're gonna need to like make sure that some of the bosses are able to do.
Right, but
like,
you yourself are saying that it looks more dense and claustrophobic visually, so you don't think that claustrophobic feel from the visuals can translate over and compensate for the lack of like gameplay claustrophobia?
It really could. The thing is also that with the remake teams at Capcom, like RE2 was considered to be amazing. 10 out of 10, great, fucking got all the bonus modes, got the hunk mode and the tofu mode and all that stuff. Yeah. And great, just no problem. RE3 was considered to kind of be a cash grab because there was actually parts of Nemesis that got like excised when they remade it. And people, I think, I don't know if this is true, but people would postulate that it got taken out because it would have been too hard to remake them as opposed to just using existing assets that you would have had to like build new assets, and that game was made like super on the cheap. It had the weird multiplayer, not RE-verse, but the other one where it was like 4 players and then another player that acts like the dungeon master that spawns stuff. I don't know anybody who actually ever played that. So if this is made by the same team, it's like that team's got one win and one. So
we call it a draw.
Yeah. And I guess the thing is that I'm a little bit more sensitive when it comes to remaking one of my favorite games of all time than I am with like something that I'm like, yeah, that was fine. Do it. Fair. Sure. Do whatever you feel like. I don't know. Have you ever played Resident Evil 4?
No, I remember when it came out, and I remember like being around a bunch of people when they were playing it. I've never played a single Resident Evil game. I've watched people play through them. I want to play them, but sometimes that gameplay is just real stressful for me.
It's very stiff, and it's very like it's making you make this horrible choice between like, do I try to run away or do I try to kill all these things or
And also, I struggle really hard with the, like, go all the way over here. Now you have this item, so you have to go all the way back over there. And I hope you remember where this needed to go because I'm not, like, I'll just be like, straight forward. Give me one line, forward motion.
Okay. They have to have aged her up.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
definitely, because when I looked her up.
Because in the original, she's like a baby. She's like,
she looks like
15 or something.
Well, I would go 6, like 17? Annoying 19-year-old college student.
Whereas here, she looks like she's
21 at least. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Old enough that it's not weird. All right.
I didn't mean to say it like that. That's just that was the inside of my head voice, and not the outside of my head voice.
Gross. So anyway, that's coming out March of next year. We finally got a release date for that.
Yeah.
Sure. There's a bunch of PSVR 2 stuff here. So there's going to be PSVR 2 content for RE4. Speaking of that, we got a announcement that Resident Evil Village is going to get PSVR 2 support.
Oh,
so
God. So you can finally get stepped on?
Yes, in actual virtual reality. Well, it was weird because, like, this game is already first person, and so I don't know. I was watching this and I was thinking about, like, I really wish that they would make more games VR, but instead of, like, I wish they would make a game like Elden Ring VR, but instead of, like, making it first person and making it so you have to swing the sword with your controller, just, like, put it in VR, but then let me play it like a third person game, but like I'm looking down into the world like a god's eye view of my character.
You want that tilt shifted Elden Ring? Is that what you're going
kinda,
for? Like that mouse game that we played that I can't remember what it's called?
Closer than that. Moss. Yeah. Closer. I want to be closer to the action than that.
Yeah.
But I think it could do that where it's just I'm really sick of these games where it's like, well, the only way that you dum-dums know how to play in VR is if we make your hands. And if you don't have two hands that can hold a gun like you would do it in real life, you can't do it. It's like, bitch, I've been playing with a controller since I was 10 goddamn years old. Like, I do not need it to be one-to-one. Like, I don't, it's not like when I'm playing Elden Ring, I'm like, hey, there's not a stick in this guy's back that goes forward. Like, it's fine. Yeah, I think it would. I think it would be fine for third-person games. I don't think it'd be good for first-person because then you have that thing where you're sitting down and looking through a character's eyes, but then moving forward, and then your body is like, "Hey, wait a minute."
Yeah, that's when everyone just does the
yeah. From there, they're putting that Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 on PSVR. There's a big thing on the Oculus Quest. It's like some kind of first person zombie thing set in the Walking Dead universe.
If there's anything I love, it's the Walking Dead universe.
I mean, the cool thing is that it seems like it's incredibly violent, and then like at the end, the main character has like a giant chainsaw, which is pretty cool.
That's always fun.
But No Man's Sky is coming to PSVR 2 on the PS5.
I like that, like space exploration on the PSVR 2.
Well, the No Man's Sky is already on the PSVR 1 on the PS4, so it doesn't seem like it would be a hellacious. Like, they've already got the controls and stuff, so it's just like putting it on the new one. But
I love the redemption arc that No Man's Sky has had.
Yeah.
Like, it went from like, this is bullshit to like, this shit just keeps on kicking.
Last week it was Space Whales, I believe. They added Space Whales and roguelike elements into the game.
I'm super into it.
Right.
I love the idea of it.
Let's see. And then we saw a kind of extended. We got this teased a little while back, but Guerrilla is making a Horizon Zero Dawn PSVR game where you play in the Horizon Zero Dawn universe. And it actually looks really like in this opening shot, they're in a boat. But, they show kind of like swimming and climbing and like shooting a bow and arrow and like, the robots are all up in your face. I'm not 100% certain. I don't know. It's been a while since when I first got my PSVR, I played through like one or two games all the way.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of times I'm hoping the PSVR 2 is a little bit less stressful to use because there's kind of just an underlying stress level in VR that I feel like makes it so you can't marathon. You could play like a lot of people play a game for like an hour or two a day.
Right.
I play games for like 8 hours straight.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do that in VR. You get tired, your eyes strain.
Yeah, it's a lot of, even if you're not using your entire body to play the game, you're still...
You have to focus and move your head around.
It's just like a total different interaction. It's not the same thing. You can shut your brain off when you play video games, not... Yeah, I don't know.
But this looks really cool. I mean, it looks like...
Yeah, it looks nice.
Exciting, right? Being all up in VR and having the robot guys come and try to chop your face off.
Yeah, for a second it kind of looked like Horizon, Pokemon Snap, like on the boat. You know what I mean? Because you're just like, there's one. Oh, there's another one. But now...
Okay, so that would be... It's such a shame that Nintendo has kind of gone in the opposite direction of portability rather than immersion. How cool would it be to have like a Pokemon game where it's
I would live for it
in VR where they're in 3D and like a little fucking Bulbasaur comes up to you and you can reach down and pat it and stuff, and that'd be really cool. I So yeah. Oh, also Horizon Zero Dawn 2 got a bunch of updates. A new performance mode, outfit changing, respec, ultra hard mode, just a lot of quality of life stuff.
Nice.
And that all went live the day that this was on, which was the yesterday, which was 4 days back from when this was.
This is forever ago.
Out. Yeah. So if you got Horizon Zero Dawn, the thing is, this might actually make me go back because I was playing Horizon Forbidden West, and then Elden Ring came out. Mm-hmm. It was 1 week before Elden Ring came out, and once Elden Ring came out, I was like, "I'm sorry, Horizon."
Horizon who? Never heard of her.
You seem all right, but like especially like the open world comparisons, we're not doing Horizon any favors.
Yeah,
like they actually added features into Horizon to let you like turn off the pick things up off the ground animation, so you could just hoover stuff up instead of having to watch Aloy like grab stuff. And then one of the big things here is that when it launched, they had the like ray tracing 30 frames per second mode, the quality mode, and then like the 60 frames per second performance mode. And it looks like they've done like Spider-Man, and they put in a kind of a halfway where you get some ray tracing, but it tries to keep the frame rate up. That's what I would prefer. I mean, as I've gotten like these next gen systems and this new computer and everything, I kind of want everything to run really fast now. I've gotten spoiled on it to the point where Michael and I are playing Duke Nukem Forever for Patreon, and I'm just like, this is like 30 frames per second. You can get the fuck away from me with
I feel like Michael really chose that to torture you.
Well,
I don't know what you did to him, but
he's been asking me for a long time, and I'll be honest, I'm having a moderate amount of fun laughing at how stupid it is.
Yeah.
And I've decided that the new policy is that we're going to play it until I get mad, and when I get mad, I just give him the controller, and I'm just like, okay, you do it. Now I'm just going to talk about fucking cheese for 20 minutes or whatever.
I'll make with the funny. You play the video game.
Yep. Let's see. From there, we got the news that the Spider-Man is coming to PC. So they're putting Spider-Man out on PC, which somebody in the Discord, I believe, made a comment about how like they make a good point about asking like, well, like at this point, how many exclusive titles are there really on the PS5 that you would need a PS5 for? I think that right now it's like Astro's Playroom and Demon's Souls are really the main things, but you can get a lot of the stuff on the PC. And I think that there's something to that. Except you have to wait, right? Like I played Spider-Man Miles Morales like a year ago when it came out.
Yeah.
If you wait long enough, everything becomes available.
Yeah.
Or I guess it didn't used to, but now Sony is putting out God of War and Horizon Zero Dawn and Spider-Man and stuff like that. So, that's I think that's great news, though. I don't believe.
I mean, we're getting a lot of weird modders.
Yes.
Whenever anything gets on the PC, that means people are going to get real weird with it.
Absolutely. Yes. It means that there will immediately get really fucking strange with it.
Yep. Which is really the only positive of anything. It's just, and then you give it to the modders, and then you hope for the best.
There was a guy that made this was months ago, basically created like kind of quote unquote like a first person mod for Spider-Man by going into photo mode and taking first person photos like as fast as he could and then stitching them together into like a slideshow in real time.
Cool.
And it was vomit inducing to watch Spider-Man go from first person. From there, everybody's favorite kitty cat is back. This is Stray. I don't know if you've been following Stray at all.
No, I know of it, but I haven't followed anything about it.
So Stray is an adventure game about a cat in a world where the robots won like the robot apocalypse, and there's like some shit going on. The cat has a little like drone that they can deploy to talk to robots, which is a little thing around the back, but they did a really good job making this cat look like a fucking cat.
Yeah.
And the way that the cat like moves and jumps and hisses and does stuff has been... Well, I mean, come on. It's the internet. Like, if you make a good-looking cat, everybody's going to be all over that shit.
Yeah, they are. Kitty cat.
The only thing that would be better is if it was like, it's the Cat and Lady Dimitrescu have teamed up to...
Jesus. Can you imagine?
But yeah, this is, I mean, since the first trailer for this, it's been kind of interesting as like this little adventure game. There's some kind of weird, like, body horror Cronenberg's going on around the thing. It's unclear what the actual story is, so it might be...
Story is your cat.
Might be good or bad or something. I don't know. But it did get a release date, which was the big thing of July 19th of this year, so right around the corner.
Ooh, so close.
Yeah.
Go play the kitty cat game.
Yep. Yeah. So let's see. And that's going to be on the dumb PlayStation Plus thing. It's going to be like the first like new game that comes with the enhanced subscription thing that they're doing. So I believe I was only paying half attention when they talked about it.
You're like, check out. I'm a dog person.
This, it might be of some interest. This is called the Callisto Protocol, I believe. Blah, 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 blah. We gotta go faster. Yeah, Callisto Protocol. This is like an outer space kind of horror game that's being made by some ex-Dead Space people who went and kind of formed their own studio. And it appears like from the narration of this trailer that it's like this guy rescues you from a crash, but then he's like hooked you up into like prison gear and forcing you to go out and fight like monsters and robots and crazy dark aliens, Dead Space shit. I
mean, I'm into it.
Yeah. There's a really cool, I think that like of the entire thing, there's a really cool shot where he's like going past a body and then it like opens up its eyeball and it looks at him and it's just like, ooh.
Yeah. Ooh.
It looks, I mean, it just looks like Dead Space.
It does.
It really just looks like Dead
But
Space.
that's not, in no way is that a bad thing. That's great.
Yeah. So, because Dead Space, they're remaking the first one, but like...
You're not getting new ones.
Dead Space 1 and Dead Space 2 were good, and then the third one caught on fire and fell over and exploded. So, but yeah, it looks good. I'm hoping this one comes out well. Because honestly, I've also seen games that look like this, that just use like dark and bloody as a way to sell it to people who are fans of that, and then they end up just being garbage.
Yeah, but I'm more hopeful just because of who's working on it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping that the fact that Sony put it here, I've never seen a Gilson game on a Sony State of Play showcase.
You have not seen one yet.
That is true. I swear to God, that motherfucker had another one of those things that was coming out.
Can I not be the person that plays it, Jeff?
I roll the dice. You all have the equal chance. I'm spinning the wheel of Gilson.
We
and
all have to draw straws, and then just one person, no, every time.
Yeah. This next one is called Rollerdrome, and it's made by Roll7, I believe, is the company, who is the company that made Ollie Ollie. And it's like a single player. I thought this was like a battle royale at first, but it's a single player game where it's like you're roller skating into these death arenas and then like shooting people with guns. And the whole thing is it's got like a Tony Hawk Pro Skater thing where you have to build up combos and scores to do stuff.
That's weird.
It also has this very kind of like flat colored, like cell shaded affectation. I can't look at games that look like this for too long. It kind of hurts my eyes, and just how many slabs of primary colors there are. Like, it's kind of difficult to look at, but I don't know.
I mean, it looks fun and cute, but yeah, there's something weird about it.
Yeah. I mean, I like the name.
Rollerdrome.
And that's coming out August 16th. Since this is a Sony conference, we had to have an anime game.
Yeah.
In this anime game, this guy's arm gets chopped off, and he gets a super rainbow arm, I guess, because it's Pride Month.
Hell yeah.
I don't know why. But his big rainbow arm turns into like a slashy/o. And when you like, they go to the action, and it's just like, okay, I've played this game 100 times. But the game does have a little something extra in that, like, there's this, but then it appears that you're going to be getting a bunch of support from a bunch of different waifus. And then it's also a full-on dating game with those waifus.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That's so funny.
So it's like one of those third-person action games that you get from like Bandai Namco or whatever, but then also like a dating simulator and like press R2 to hold hands and smooch your crush.
It's the rainbow arm. Bitches love the rainbow arm.
Bitches do love that rainbow. There's one part where the rainbow arm is a tentacle in here.
Yeah, but it is.
Real briefly. There's a part, it took me a while to figure out.
And he's like, ooh, in front of the girl, and she's like, Yeah.
Yeah. So I even forgot the name of this thing because it looks kind of interesting, but like, my God, there are generic anime games, and then there are generic anime games, and this is a generic fucking anime game, if there ever was one. I don't know. Maybe it comes out and it gets good reviews, but I can't even trust good reviews about generic anime games because they get played by the fucking weeb fans.
Yeah.
And then it's like the people that give bad horror movies, like the people that are way into horror movies, and they're just like, oh, no, it's mostly bad, but you should totally see it. Like, I give it like a 7 out of 10, and it's like, this is a 2 out of 10. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, 100%.
So it says Eternights, which I dare you to remember.
You gotta call a Terminator when you get Eternights up in your house.
I got rainbow tentacles everywhere. There's a bunch of waifus. I got a waifu infestation in my house.
That means you got some standing water somewhere in your house.
Oh,
you gotta you get the Eternights. It's just what happens.
Yep. It's early 2023. Let's see. What came after that? Yes. Amanda, what game do you think we're looking at right here?
Well, now that says Capcom, I'm going to say Street Fighter.
Street Fighter 6.
Yeah.
Yep. This is the new Street Fighter.
Did it say Street Fighter in that
graffiti font?
Graffiti?
Yes.
Okay.
It totally did.
I was like, maybe I look like an idiot because I'm just staring at it like Capcom.
What does it say?
Yeah.
So this is the new Street Fighter that they've been talking about. They've got some new characters. We've got this, I don't remember who these guys, I think it's like Luke or something like that.
Fuckboy haircut.
Yeah, he's like the new guy, and then there's like a kind of a drunken master guy, and then in here we see Ryu and Chun-Li. The main thing here is that there is a mode where you get to run around like just in this Metro City area and get into like random fights and talk to people, and sure, you can barrels and dance with grandmas and all kinds of stuff.
That's all I ever want to do.
And then from there, it looks like the actual fighting is a lot of Street Fighter.
Yeah.
I read actually a press release for this that said that they're actually, but that's not true, because I read a press release for this that said they're adding in a new mode to the game called Basic Mode, where like if you are kind of an unskilled Street Fighter player, there will be like a special attack button modifier that you can hold down to just throw a fireball without having to do the input to like throw a fireball.
Boo! Get good, you freaking noobs.
I see. The thing is, I can't pull off Street Fighter moves, so I'm excited because I think that like, hey man, if you're super good at Street Fighter, then like you know how to do those moves, but I'm not super good at Street Fighter, so does that mean I'm just not allowed to play ever with anybody except for the people
get out of here.
House?
No, I agree.
Is it a Van Halen t-shirt?
Look, does it not look like an All Might like daily cosplay outfit? Just a little bit.
It does.
Like,
also, I don't know what happened, Amanda, but you tell me. Does Chun-Li seem thicker than ever before?
They were like, look, we know what you want out of Chun-Li.
Like, I'm a big fan of the Thunder Thighs, but like
she's gonna
my God.
What a way to die, am I right?
I don't know if she like sits on a chair and then gets gets startled and then just breaks it in half with her legs. My God. I mean, you know, Ryu is a big beefy chonk boy, but like
she is,
like also this outfit that she's wearing appears to be all the way up her ass. Like,
the best part about like the costume designs in or I guess character designs in Street Fighter is just the attention to ass that they have. They're like, no woman can have like a long flowing dress or, you know, something that like doesn't hug her straight up or crack. It's like, whatever it is, it's up there.
It's all the way up there.
And I know that they can do pants that don't do that because none of the guys' pants go straight up their fucking... No. Yep. It's just crazy.
Yep.
You're going to have Moose Knuckles. She's going to do one split and just that seam is going to rip everything. Just everything.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, cool. I'm glad they fixed the logo.
Yeah, they're like, you know what we should do? Modernize.
Get it? Well, they had another logo that was in here, but it had like an S and an F in it. And within moments of them putting it out, people
who like that's
found
dumb.
the Adobe stock hexagon with things in it that looked an awful lot like it. There was a electronics store, I believe, in Japan that was a chain that their previous logo also looked quite a bit like that. I think it was just kind of one of those crypto mistakes. Like hey, it's a 6-sided hexagon. This is Street Fighter 6. We're like a hexagon with S and F in it. That's Street Fighter 6, right? But that they didn't. Then somebody just, there's no way to look at every single thing on the internet to make sure that you didn't do something that looks like something else.
Yeah.
So
you could make it somebody's job to do that.
I don't even think you could, but I don't even know who you would hire. It wouldn't be an artist.
No, just like a teenager.
You'd have to have
like a really shitty dude on Twitter. Like that's all you need.
Just have like an invite only forum on some shitty.
Yeah, they're like, we're thinking of doing this logo. And
can you guys find this shit in 5 minutes so that we don't look stupid when we put it out?
Yeah.
But you know what?
They work for NFTs. It's perfect.
If you're a company and you are not ready to look stupid on Twitter, you should just close.
Yeah.
You're going to eventually do something that's going to make you look
even
stupid
if you
on
do
Twitter.
things that people love, you end up looking like an asshole in the long run.
Yep. It doesn't matter. We don't need a reason anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
I'm always into some Street Fighter.
Tunic is coming to the PlayStation.
Nice.
This was previously Xbox and
I still haven't had time to play it. Tim Schafer said it was hard, and then it made me nervous.
It is hard. It's actually quite hard, and then at the end, it kind of turns into some fezzy puzzle bullshit.
You're implying that I don't like fezzy puzzle bullshit, though.
Yeah.
Because Tim Schafer was on Twitter, and he was like, "I'm going to take a break from Elden Ring because it's just too hard for me, and I need something fun and easy. I'm going to start on Tunic." Oh my God! Do I not know how to play video games anymore?
I listened to this other podcast called Triple Click, and they were talking about, there was a week where they all got into Tunic, and they were talking about it in one of their segments, and they were just like, you can just turn on like you can't die in this game, or you can turn on like the stamina doesn't matter, so you can just block indefinitely type of thing, and that like.
I'll put on baby mode. If it's
a choice between I'm going to stop playing or turn on baby mode. I mean, that's what happened to me at the end, was when I realized what they wanted me to do. I was like, no, thank you. Game facts, where are all of these puzzles and what are the answers to them immediately?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to do this. I've already spent 10 hours playing this game. It'll take me another 10 hours to figure out where all this bullshit is. But yeah, it's good though. It's good. I mean, Tunic is good.
Yeah.
It might have got a little overhyped. It might have been a little overhyped in the community, just of like, oh, it did something different. It's kind of artsy, and everybody's just like, oh my God, it's the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
September 27th. We got a trailer for, this is a game called, I forgot what the name of this thing is. Solitude Season, A Letter to the Future, which is a game about this woman who leaves her like tribe and gets on a bike and goes around the world to like document everything that she can. She takes pictures of stuff and like records the audio on stuff.
Nice.
And it seems like a very kind of chill,
like a cozy game,
laid back. Yeah, just a kind of vibe and walk and sim kind of relaxing
nice.
thing.
I'm into that.
It looks very nice, which is why I regret to tell you that I looked it up, and apparently I was reading another article that had a link, and it was like, the company that's making this has had some shit.
Oh, really?
Like apparently the CEO and then like the co-CEO, who like those two are in a relationship with each other, are just like fucking bad people. Like harassing their employees. I was reading this on my phone today, and there was a story where they were like, yeah, we had a meeting, and we were like, what if the main character had a guitar, and then she could like play guitar when she stopped, in various places. And then apparently from the boss, it was implied that guitar is too hard for women's brains and give her a ukulele instead. And it was just like, what the ever-loving fuck?
God.
Like guys. But this is what's weird is that you and I have talked about this a whole bunch. This is not the first time that it's been like, oh, because this is a game with a woman of color as the main character, and it seems like it's all artsy, and that tends to, in my mind, say like progressive,
kind
of
like welcoming. It seems like it's open for everyone,
chill, and like not all like
she's
guys.
Also, that character design for that main character is not hyper feminine either.
Yeah, and then
which is nice because you're not just like chick in a bikini, let's do this.
Right. You don't have to worry about Chun-Li's ass crack in this game.
Yeah. I will still be worried about Chun-Li's ass crack in this game.
That's all I'm ever worried about.
I'm constantly concerned about her.
And I'm like,
is she wearing underwear? Is that a double layer up her butt? Because there's no way like your underwear has to be up your butt if your pants are up your butt.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is she not wearing underwear? That's how you get a yeast infection.
I don't know.
Chun-Li's hygiene is very important.
Dear Capcom, as a fan of Street Fighter, I'm very concerned. So yeah, I don't know. This is coming out in the autumn, and like hey,
I would play it if my dumb female brain would be able to handle such a complicated game.
If you have any problems with what I'm saying, go look it up. This has all been very well reported. It seems like one of those things where it's an indie studio with some kind of some kind of power tripping like bosses.
Yeah.
It's like 30 people, so there's no HR department, and the bosses are just like, well, if you have a problem, you can just come to my office. I got an open door policy. And it's not like you're the fucking problem.
Yeah.
Like, apparently there was a story where they had booze at company events, and then they had to like stop because the guy who runs the place like kept getting drunk and like hitting on every woman that worked at the place in front of the woman that he was like dating at the time, and then it was be like, oh, I'm sorry, I was just really wasted. And then like their solution to this was like no more alcohol at company events, and it was just like, I can't with this shit. Like,
God.
So go look it up if you don't believe me. But it wouldn't. And also, what I was getting at was it wouldn't be the first time that we play a good game made by some bad people. Now, I'm sure that I'm sure the entire place is not bad. There's plenty of people that work there. It's not bad.
Yeah.
But,
there's got to be at least one.
Yeah. Yeah. And then finally, the big thing for everybody was that we got a trailer, the first trailer, the second trailer, but this is the first one that has actual gameplay in it for Final Fantasy XVI, which was announced a while back, had a teaser at, I believe it was E3 either last year or the year before, and we have kind of heard nothing, and before they showed this, they had the main guy come out, and he was like, we're going to start doing interviews, we're going to start talking about it, we're going to start, kind of doing the press thing, and they showed a big trailer, and
uh-oh.
I'm just, it should come as a surprise to nobody at this point. I'm done with Square. Like they're like, okay, they actually show what the combat in this game looks like now. And I paused this, right? So I paused this as we're looking at. We've got our main character, Clive, with his hit points and his bar. He's hitting an enemy over here. Down in this corner, we have a cross, like a diamond that has like fire, attack, jump, and Phoenix shift on it. This is obviously like the real-time combat thing where this maps to the buttons.
Yeah.
On this side, we've got the D-pad mapped to potion, high potion, strength tonic.
Right.
This is obviously another one of those fucking bullshit real-time action RPGs that Square likes to do, like they do with Final Fantasy VII or Kingdom Hearts or whatever. I am not interested in that. I think they do that kind of combat badly.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't work when they do it. Not that it can't work, but because I play fucking Dark Souls as an RPG, man. I play that shit all day, every day. Also, I see that there's some kind of system up here. These portraits seem like they coincide. In the top left of the screen, there are portraits with an L2 icon beside them. Those portraits seem to coincide with the summon characters in the game. I believe that there's Ifrit and Shiva, and I think that's Odin at the bottom.
Yeah.
And it looks like that changes what your attacks are, so that you're going to use that to combo between different things. I have a feeling that this is going to be very much like Final Fantasy 15, where you're going around the world at the end of this trailer, I'm sorry, Amanda doesn't know any of this because you've seen 4 seconds of this. But at the end of this trailer, they show the various summon characters, like these titans, and then each one of them flashes to another person. I have to assume that this is going to be some kind of like, in order to defend our kingdom, you're going to have to go around and collect all the summonings from all these different characters in different places. I don't like how gray and like dirty and dark and dingy it is, because I feel like everything is getting dirty and dark and dingy now that we have Unreal Engine 5 and the next gen consoles. I kind of like some of the brighter, more colorful stuff that Square has done in the past with some of their things, but again, it should not come as a shock to anybody, because I've been doing nothing but complaining about Square Enix for 3 years straight now. So like, they haven't done a single thing that I like between Babylon's Fall or Kingdom Hearts or Final Fantasy, and selling off the Deus Ex or getting rid of IO Interactive when Hitman didn't sell. I have just not been into what they're doing. I don't know. Now that we're almost done with this, what are you thinking when you look at this? Like,
it looks okay. I mean, I'm a bad person to ask. I'm not a Final Fantasy person, and I agree with the like kind of gray muddiness of it, or it's just like I feel like they do it so that things can have like gold lightning streaks and look at it bold compared to that, but like the rest of it just looks boring as shit because of it, because it just looks like it's just
a guys.
Yeah,
it's all like guys. And I paused this and went through it frame by frame, and I saw there were some like orc enemies at a certain point, but like, I don't know, this is like a weird thing for me where I don't know, I really like Final Fantasy X. Like in Final Fantasy X, there were like the blue guys, and there were all these different like races and different people with various different outfits. Final Fantasy 13, like, I guess that it's not fair to say that there are always like monster people, but people always tended to have like very different looks to them and very different vibes to them, and this just feels a lot like Final Fantasy 15. Like medieval fantasy. Everything's brown.
Yeah.
Very Game of Thrones. Like, maybe this started development when Game of Thrones was the big thing, and they were like, we need to make it look like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But nowadays, I feel like it just kind of looks, I don't know.
Like, in fact, they're on a field outdoors in a battle scene, and like the grass is gray.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm not asking for it to be like Technicolor, but it just feels like you get a hint of color every once in a while, and that's supposed to be the thing that like wows you. But that's almost like a cheap.
Like, look at this is Shiva. We see Shiva in here, which first I have some weird problems with the fact that she's a blonde lady, but whatever. Yeah. But like, even her, she's so weirdly desaturated to the point where like she's got
white
blonde hair and white skin and this kind of white dress, and then it's kind of gold in her hair, and like but it all kind of just runs together. And then she's ice powers, so you figure like that you could maybe counter that by making the ice really blue, but it's not really blue, it's like pale blue. And so the whole thing just kind of, I don't know. Like
it's like a hard meh the whole time.
This whole thing also just reminds me so much of Final Fantasy 15, because they had the big summons walking around, like when you did the summons in Final Fantasy 15, so that they would come out of the air. Like, one of the big things was roaming around the land and like collecting power from the different summons, and that seems to be exactly what's happening here. So I don't know, maybe I need to see a gameplay demo and it'll look a lot better, but like, just adding blood and turning down the saturation doesn't excite me. And the fact that I can tell that they're doing the real-time combat engine that they've done in the last 3 big RPGs that they put out is like, I mean, Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy 12, Final Fantasy 13 all had completely different combat systems, right? 10 was turn-based, 12 was this automated. It was the grid where you would like set programs up to make the guys do, and then 13 was about like these high-level tactics and stuff. And the fact is that it seems like they've settled into this thing where they want to just make everything real time, hit the button to attack combat, and that people are going to want to do combos. But the thing is that, like, unlike something like Elden Ring or the Souls franchise, which I keep defaulting to that, but even like Tales of Arise that I played last year, you and I played that. We had the Metal Mask, which also is very colorful, right? It was a medieval world. It was even a rock quarry, but it was like orange fire and like spell effects everywhere.
Yeah.
But it never feels good to play. Like it always feels wrong. Like I feel like the Souls games feel good because they've kind of had the exact same combat system that they've just been refining for like the last 15 years or something like that. Whereas here it's like, I have Final Fantasy VII was unsatisfying to play and it didn't feel good, and then I got stuck and I was just like, I don't like this. I'm not having any fun with it.
Are you in the minority and not liking that in the Final Fantasy games?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Everybody else really likes them. And people don't understand what the fuck my problem is. I mean, I'm sure some people do, because there is a counterpoint. Like Persona 5 is just a turn-based strategy game, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just you go, I go, you go, I go, just like Dragon Warrior on the NES from when I was a 10-year-old.
I mean, Pokemon is you go, I go, you go, I go.
Right.
That's fine.
So there's plenty of games that are like that. The thing is that Final Fantasy used to be one of my favorite franchises of all time. I really do like Final Fantasy X. I played Final Fantasy 11, which was their first MMO. I didn't really care for 12, but I played all 3 13s all the way to the end, and I actually really ended up liking the 13 franchise. 14 was an MMO. 15 was Tetsuya Nomura, who did the Kingdom Hearts. That was supposed to be a 13 spinoff, but then they made it into 15. They kept adding stuff to 14. Then they went to Kingdom Hearts. Then they announced this.
That's too complicated.
Like
we're done with Final Fantasy. You start with a new number 1.
Yeah,
there's too many.
Yeah. This is what I keep trying to tell people is that as a Final Fantasy fan, what's frustrating to me is that the last Final Fantasy 13 game, Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13, came out in 2013. So it has been almost a decade since there was a Final Fantasy game that I actually enjoyed.
Yeah. Yikes.
And there's only been 2 Final Fantasy games since then, and one of them is an MMO.
Yeah.
So it's like, Jesus, guys, like, come on already. Like, they've already announced a new Kingdom Hearts. They just got done finishing Kingdom Hearts 3, and now they've announced a new Kingdom Hearts. It's just like, for fuck's sake, you're Square Enix. Make Final Fantasy games. Like, I don't know what to... I'm taking crazy pills over here, Make some guided spin-offs. Give them to some weirdos. Let Suda 51 make a fucking Final Fantasy Tactics.
Let Suda 51 make a whatever. Make a whatever.
Actually, okay, so we're just about out of time for part 1, and I didn't actually send this to you, but did you see the preview trailer for Devolver Digital's countdown thing for E3 this year?
No, I haven't. There is no E3 this year, though. Oh,
that's correct, but they're doing a thing, and so they had the marketing countdown to Summer Game Fest. And it was, I can't turn on the sound here, but it was the new kind of CEO lady yelling at everybody and calling them dick bags or whatever. And then at the end, they're like, she decides, we're just going to do a countdown. And they're like, a countdown to what? She's like, it doesn't fucking matter. Just get those nerds to watch for the hours. Because she's saying that, like, the countdown until the big presentation is much more popular than the presentation. So we could just do the countdown. It doesn't matter what we announce.
Nice.
And so they talk about it. And then at the end, they're like, well, who's going to host it? And then they say they've got a new system that they've developed where people can tell a remote in, but they can have a real presence. And then they open up a big door, and there's a super cheesy mech warrior that comes out, like in RoboCop 2. Right?
Yeah.
And then just like in RoboCop 2, his stomach opens up and a little screen comes out, just like the dude in RoboCop 2, and Suda 51 is on the screen as like the host of the
Did you just say, what's up, nerds, and then laugh?
Yes.
Fuck yes. So. Whatever it is, I'm in.
And with that, we're going to go and take a break. I don't know how the fuck we're going to do the second half of the show because there's still like...
We're going to lightning round it, baby.
We're going to do the whole fucking thing. Well,
we're going to do a lot of cocaine while we're on break.
All right, then let me set a timer that you can only talk about how sexy the new Pokemon people are for like 5 minutes.
Like I'm not just going to talk about the pig in Pokemon and fuck the trainer.
Either way, we'll see you back here in just a minute.
definitely didn't do any cocaine.
Yep.
That's what you're asking.
Yeah. Wait, you have cocaine? You didn't share?
Well, not anymore.
Oh, God damn it.
I mean,
Well,
what?
I was going to say, Amanda, I've made you wait for an hour.
You did.
Let's talk about Pokemon.
What? Never heard of it.
Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. We got a big trailer. So, okay. We're on the same page here, right? This is Pokemon Arceus or whatever, just in like a modern day setting, 100%. Right? Like you can see the Pokemon.
Are we under the implication that that's a bad thing?
No, absolutely not. It's just I don't think I was clear.
Yeah.
So, all right. We've got the professors.
Yassified professors, yeah.
Did you check this? This has like a Portuguese Spanish like vibe to it,
right? Yeah,
and that we have Professor Sada and Professor Turo. And Pasada means past, and Futuro means future.
Yeah.
So, but the internet is having a ball with the hot professors.
Yeah.
They're not just old dudes anymore.
Yeah.
Which one are you getting, Amanda?
I think
hot lady, hot guy.
I think hot guy is in Violet, and I'm getting Violet.
Okay.
John and I do a thing with Pokemon that we'll buy the 2-pack, so it's both of them. And then I get whichever fucking one I want, and then John gets
the other one.
John gets the scraps. So I just so happen to be getting the sexy dude, and John is getting sexy lady. But
There's also the some people have pointed out that Professor Turo here kind of looks like the Giga Chad. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The big guy with
does. I think he looks like what's his name? Adam Ellis, the cartoonist. He used to work for BuzzFeed.
I don't know who that is.
He looks just like him. It's very funny to me.
Yeah, and apparently the lady from the past has like she's got the big the abs. Apparently, I have not.
How do we know she has the abs? I've only seen her from like the chest up, right?
I don't know. Let's see if we can find some. I'm pretty sure that they released some full pictures of them. Say Pokemon new. What are they? Professors? New professors? Yes. Okay. Let's see.
Sexy professors.
Yeah.
Sexy professors.
So
in
here's so she's like a caveman professor.
Yeah.
Like cave lady professor.
She's really into nature.
And then we've got this guy. And okay, so they're very much future and past, right?
Yeah, 100%.
This guy's got like neon fucking Tron suit on.
Yeah, he's like the coolest dude ever.
And she's got like bones and skins and stuff under her lab coat.
Yeah, she's got like a fur Craven the Hunter thing going on.
Apparently there's this new thing where it's like that anime girls with abs is like a new thing that the certain internet subcultures have like a big fetish for.
Okay,
so,
I mean, I'm into it.
So yeah,
I just your Google search shows the professor from Pokemon Snap, and I just like to think that somebody was like the bottom.
Oh, this guy?
No, down.
Oh,
one.
this guy.
Yeah. I just like to think that somebody was like, I'm sorry, handsome professors are new. Like, what about this guy?
No, but these aren't handsome. These are sexy.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we saw some Pokemon. We saw some new Pokemon.
Hell yeah, we did. Lechonk, baby.
Lechonk, and then who's the other one? Smoliv? Yes.
Small Olive. His name is Smoliv, Jeff.
Other than that, I mean, this is
some standard Pokemon.
Look,
I'm not looking for new with Pokemon. I didn't even know I wanted new with Pokemon until I got Arceus and Arceus, and now I get more of that, but in modern.
Yeah,
I'm down. Like
it's like the 4-player co-op, I guess.
Yeah, we weren't 100% sure what they meant by this.
Well, it's funny because they're like, oh, 4-player co-op, and then there's 4 people, and they're all standing, and they're like waving at each other and doing like hash
and then they all walk away from each other.
They'll just go in different cardinal directions.
What?
Like,
why do I need co-op? Smoliv is so confused and scared.
Yeah. So yeah,
I hope he evolves into a martini.
A big martini glass.
Yeah. Lechonk.
Okay, what's underneath Lechonk's eyes? It looks like
they're
he's got
little
like
teardrops,
like
he's
an eye infection with like pus coming out of it.
He's just always sad because he's a pig. I love Pokemon that are just the animal they are.
Yeah,
like it's not
nothing special,
nothing creative about it. It's a pig.
Yeah,
and he's chubby, so we call him Lechonk.
Here's a snake.
Yeah, I love those. Those are so stupid that they're great.
Ekans. It's Snake backwards. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. This looks fine.
Yeah,
Like
I'm into it.
Kind of cool.
100%.
It'll be interesting to see because I feel like Arceus was really different because the point of it was like you are making the first Pokedex and like this world that doesn't know how Pokemon worked,
Right.
kind of thing. Also as an isekai, whereas this is just looks like, I mean, man, here's your ball. You turn 13.
Yeah.
Go fucking run around the world and catch some animals and make them fight.
Hope you don't die. And then like off you go. Yeah. Oh yeah. But I'm into it. It looks good. It looks fun. It looks like what I want out of a Pokemon game. Plus sexy professors. So
yeah.
What else do you need?
Oh, at the end we also have the big old dragons. I forget what their names are. That are like the violet and crimson or whatever.
Yeah, somebody pointed out, pause right here.
Yeah.
Does the one on the right look a little bit like cock and balls? Just a little.
a little bit.
You see it? Little jet,
Yep.
little squishy jet legs, and then just straight cylinder all the way up.
Bam!
Huh? And then he's got the little things on the side, which also really kind of imply. It's just throwing it out there. You see it from the side, and it's fine, but straight from behind, it was a poor choice on their part.
The thing that's weird to me is the crimson guy just looks like he's got a wheel shoved into his chest. It looks like a tire.
It's not weird that the thighs of the future guy is just straight up jets. Like he just everywhere. Like
no, what's weird, Amanda, is that the jets are pointed forward and then it's hovering.
Yeah.
So
it's best not to fully question it, but yeah.
Also, this thing is a robot. This Violet one is just like some kind of weird.
There's plenty of robot Pokemon.
Oh, okay. I don't know shit about Pokemon.
We're dangerously close to Digimon territory.
Look, I'm into that. God, what the hell is the name of that? I keep forgetting the name of it. The one with the Pokemon, but with the machine guns, where you get to make the Pokemon.
My God.
Build your guns in a sweatshop.
That's horrible.
I want to play that game bad. So bad.
I'm excited.
Yeah. And we got a release date of November 18th, which I think is kind of around the time when Arceus came out, right?
I think so.
So you and I recorded it, and then it all got fucked up, and we had to redo the whole thing from the beginning. So
it all it's all real foggy in my brain.
Yep. It was right after I got my new computer, and then I tried to do recording on this computer, and it got all fucked up. So, digital pre-orders are up, and that's kind of it. I mean, like, there's
it's Pokemon.
This is fan art.
Of course it is.
Lady. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck. So let's see from there. Oh yeah, we also had a thing where Toby Fox said that he did the music for this Pokemon.
Oh.
He basically just like created kind of like the bass music for it and then handed it over to Game Freak, and that they kind of remixed it into different stuff that you can actually hear in the trailer and stuff.
Nice, that's cool.
And he's got a bunch of stuff on the soundtrack. So good on you, Toby Fox.
Good job, Toby Fox.
From there, we had, I actually sent you the wrong video of this, but you didn't watch it, so that's good.
Aha.
7 minutes off of IGN of Sonic Frontiers, which is the new Sonic game that they're putting out. We had a teaser for it before, but now we have 7 minutes. And I don't know who at Sega decided that it was okay to show this to people. Okay, listen, I'm not a Sonic guy. You guys, everybody knows this shit.
We all know this.
This is a well-known fact.
Yes.
Recently, I've been looking around the internet at a lot of different, like, Unreal Engine 5 mock-up games. Like, I posted, there was a kind of a Dark Souls one. This looks like some shit that somebody made. Like, this does not... Well, first off, there is not a single enemy in this entire 7 minutes.
Yeah, he's just wandering.
Second, it's this really, really generic open world full of, like, kind of hexagonal ruins with a bunch of, like, grind rails and bullshit on it. Sonic... I think this is a problem for Sonic. I don't know how you Sonic fans feel about this, but I think that whenever you put Sonic in a realistic world, he looks dramatically out of place if he's just like the big spikes coming off of Sonic's head are how you draw hair like in a cartoon form.
Right.
So it should look like, to be honest, if you could take this trailer and change the Sonic model out for ugly Sonic from the Chip and Dale movie, it would look better, like, because it would look more like it belonged in this world,
right?
As opposed to just this cartoon character in this area where, like, you know, he's flat blue polygons, and then the rocks have like distressed texture and moss and shit, and it looks stupid.
Is this supposed to be like Sonic Breath of the Wild or something?
Yes. But it was supposed to be just an open world, like 3D Sonic game. Like, it was kind of the big thing. But like, I just don't know who could decide that this was okay to show to people. This looks like an early alpha. Like, there's no like vegetation that you pick up. There's these ruins of things, but there's not a single enemy anywhere inside.
Yeah.
Like, the lighting is just this overhead midday flat. Yeah. Like, it's just a lot of Sonic grinding on rails and bebopping between little snoot points, and then there's just all these like platforms just floating in the middle of the air, and these grind rails that aren't attached to anything.
Yeah.
And this whole thing seems like a tech demo.
Yeah.
Not like something that you would show to people. You know what this reminds me of? Is I you know what? If this had been a thing where it was like, Sony's new PlayStation 3 is coming out, and Sega's been working on a new game, and they have a tech demo to show you what they've got in mind in 2 years when they make this new Sonic game.
Yeah.
Let's take a look, everybody. Like, that would be acceptable, but the idea that they called like, IGN and let them put this online?
Do you think IGN was like, really?
Yeah, it was just a great scoop for IGN. I mean, this thing got 2 million hits, right? But like, it looks fucking bad.
Yeah.
Like,
it is for how much shit they put in it. Like, there's, you know, rails all over the place. There's bridges and shit.
Yeah.
It feels really empty.
It looks
because there's no enemies. There's no life. There's no like.
There's no hazards.
Creatures wandering or anything.
It's just traversal. There's nothing to do outside of go fast.
Yeah.
You know, which
it feels like the sound for it would just be like sneakers in a hallway. Do you know what I mean? Where it's just like empty, just
it's mostly just that like Sonic noise, and then like ring bells. Like, it's mostly that. It's not even. I don't think it even has any. It could have music, but I don't remember. I don't know. I watched this, and again, I am predisposed not to like Sonic. I think that Sonic is kind of silly. Here's a puzzle that they had where there's 3 statues, and one of them is turned the wrong way, and so Sonic walks up to the statue that is facing in the wrong direction and turns it 90 degrees so that it faces in the correct direction, and the puzzle is solved.
I feel like I've gotten smarter since I started watching this.
I don't know what's going on here. Like, the thing is, take Sonic out. Like, if this was another video game, if this was an indie game, if there was a Master Chief running through here, right, it'd be like, wow, this new Halo game looks like shit.
Yeah.
Like, there's this other puzzle where he draws this kind of like speed lines around these different things, but in the course of like watching this, there doesn't even appear to be like a countdown timer or a clock or a thing that happens to make you have to do it.
Yeah, this game has no repercussions.
And then like when they do this, it like unlocks different things. Like, over the course of this demo, they'll show puzzles where when Sonic does them, it like a thing shows up in the world, but they never collect the thing, and there's no UI to indicate like if there's a health bar or a stamina system or like anything. So it's just Sonic running around an Unreal Engine outdoor demo with some grind rails pasted into the air. Like, like look at that.
It looks so bad.
Look at this. Look at these stupid rails that are just. We're at 5 minutes in this thing. They're attached to nothing.
Yeah, they're just floating.
They're just floating. It's like fucking. It looks like those big sky areas in Saints Row 4.
Oh my god, yeah.
Except in Saints Row 4 it was okay because it was like a computer simulation.
Yeah.
Whereas this, like, I mean, there's that one part where he runs through that field of flowers. Like, hey, you could have spruced this place up with different types of trees or different types of flowers, or you know, like, there's shit outside besides ruins and grind rails. And if what you wanted was to show off the traversal, I wouldn't have let IGN put up 7 entire minutes of this. You could have done this in a 2-minute trailer. In fact, they had a 2-minute trailer. It's what I sent to you.
Yeah.
Which was better because it didn't keep going. Like, this
there's like just one bird fucking harassing Sonic this whole time.
Yep.
Am I the only one that noticed it?
Nope.
They were like, we'll imply there's more going on by just having one bird circle him over and over again.
Yep. And like, there's these parts where you can see these rocks that have like an incline to them.
Yeah.
But it appears that if Sonic runs fast enough, he can just run up them. So it's not even like a Breath of the Wild, like you have to climb or traversal type of thing. Because at first when he was on top of that tower, I thought, oh, well, this would be better for Tails. Like, it'd be kind of cool if you could, like, flip over to Tails to then, like, use the height to do something like the glider in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
But this is some baby town frolics, man. Like,
yeah, I don't understand.
And so they just did this puzzle, and then it unlocked.
They failed the puzzle the first time too.
Yeah,
just to imply. Well, honestly, I think it was just to have the implication that, like, look, it's not all super easy baby stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, there's little things moving around. What are those?
It was like little sheeps or goats, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't understand this. Maybe somebody can explain to me why I'm a stupid idiot and how it's actually secretly amazing. But this doesn't like.
Yeah.
I've seen open world games that look better. I've seen Sonic games that look
IGN's
better.
like, first, I don't know.
Here's the thing. I guess. Yeah. So I don't know. We also last week, as part of the big Star Wars drop,
Star Wars Celebration,
we got the first teaser for Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Oh yeah, I did see this.
Which is the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order, a game that I was like 6 out of 10. You know, not bad, but when I tried to go, I didn't like the map. It was hard to find anything, and I kept getting stuck in places. But I think this is a pre-rendered cutscene.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's possible with next gen this could be gameplay, but if it is gameplay, it looks great. It is entirely unclear what the fuck is going on in here.
Yeah, somebody's taking a bubble bath. Somebody's fighting somebody.
It appears that the Inquisitor, the main Inquisitor, is one of those guys that, like, in episode 3 when Obi-Wan goes to that one place where he goes, hello there, and he talks to that one guy with the vampire fangs and the lines on his face.
Yeah.
And he's like, the droids got here right before you, and you're on level 5. And then he grabs that little guy. It appears that
was also an amazing play-by-play of what happens in that scene. Can somebody edit this so that we can like go play-by-play with what actually happened?
Yeah. Okay. I gotta ask. Can they restrain themselves? I want to get odds from you before the Obi-Wan show is over that he's going to say hello there to somebody.
I thought he already had. I was just assuming he did.
I don't think he did in the first. I haven't watched the third episode.
All I know is that during the fucking Star Wars celebration that they made poor Hayden Christensen, like, they were like, and it's the end of our interview because they had like a panel.
Yeah.
And they announced that the first 2 episodes were out. That's when everyone found out that the first 2 episodes were out. And they're like, does anybody have anything else to say? And everyone looked at Hayden Christensen, meaning he was told to say this, and he goes, this is where the fun begins. And everyone goes, yay! He said the thing! And I was just like, this poor man.
I hate the fact that the Star Wars franchise has catchphrases.
Yeah.
Like it.
I don't think they meant them to be. Like, there's no chance in hell they meant for hello there to be a fucking catchphrase. Right. Nobody meant for that to happen.
Well, but doesn't Han says like the same thing?
I don't think that was intentional.
Or somebody that's they say there's something.
Han
says
like, I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, I think that's it. And then it shows up in all the movies.
Right,
or whatever,
but I do not think that was an intentional thing. I think that is how George wrote Han Solo, and then by the time you get to the fandom's like, he's got to say the thing, and then like an adult who lived with Star Wars all their life is like, which thing? Like, may the Force be with you? Yeah, everyone needs to say that at least once, but like, I got a bad feeling about this. You guys are fucking weird.
I wish that Hayden Christensen had gone off script and just stood up and gone, no!
She's alive. I felt it.
They did a recap of episode 3 leading up to the first episode of Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And they had the scene where, arise, Lord Vader. And then, like, they cut it right before he fucking Frankensteins his way off of that thing.
I would cut it too.
I was in the fucking theater opening weekend for that shit. And I was just like, no. Redo the line.
Yeah.
Put him in a booth and make him do that 100 times. You don't even see his mouth. Like, why are you doing it like this?
Because it's funny.
Anyway, back to Jedi Survivor. I mean, I mean,
it looks good.
I didn't hate the game, so I'm glad they're doing another one. Also, we're in a different world now. When Jedi Fallen Order first came out, EA had an exclusive rights to make Star Wars games, and now those rights are everywhere. Ubisoft is making one, Quantic Dream is making one, fucking everybody's making Star Wars games. So like, it's like you don't have to put all your hopes into this game. It could be fine, it could be not be fine, it could be whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
but sometimes that actually makes it better because that means they can be a little more loosey goosey with it because it's like, look, like this is the Star Wars game, you have to prove yourself with this Star Wars game. Star Wars is going to be like real up your butt about it.
Yeah.
But now because you don't have as much of that pressure, sometimes it gives you a little wiggle room to be creative. Well, hear me out. Creativity and Star Wars could be fun together, like two great tastes that taste great together.
Plus, okay. Originally, when I was pitching my Jedi private detective to Chris, at the end I went one step too far and I said he should be a Wookiee and just not subtitled, like just speaks like the Wookiees or whatever,
Light Day celebration.
Yes.
Episode.
But now I'm thinking that the Wookiee needs to be like his contact in the actual Coruscant police force.
Oh my god!
And I want him to wear like a fedora and like a suit, like he's like a detective, but he's a Wookiee. And then he goes in there and he's just like, and slams his hand on the desk and breaks the desk, and he's like, "Hey, I'm working over here."
I just need one scene where that Wookiee flashes a badge. I just have to fucking have it of the like holding up a badge and somebody being like, "A fucking cop." 100%.
Yep. Cop. Wookiee cop.
A Wookiee cop. That's a different show.
Spin off.
Oh my god.
And then he's got to team up with a sassy droid to solve.
Oh my god. It's perfect.
The council is up my ass about this.
And then you get bad guys that see that Wookiee cop and go, "Jason, it's the fuzz."
Yes. Good Lord. It writes itself. Come on, LucasArts. Both the man and I could use like really big paychecks and steady jobs. We're willing to work for this shit.
I feel like we'd have to pay them by the end of it. Like, no.
It's like, I don't understand. Is the Wookiee Chewbacca? Like, no.
Not at all.
Nobody is a thing. There's nobody's in a thing.
No,
like,
you want to play this? All right, hear me out. The little kid in the Star Wars Christmas special, the little kid Wookiee, has grown up and is now a cop.
Sure.
And it's following him.
Yeah.
Chewbacca is my older brother. I haven't seen him in a while. That's it.
There you go.
Done.
Boom. Done. It's done. Anyway, hey, that Star Wars game looks pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's no Wookiee cop, but it's fine.
Yeah. Also, it ends with like a dude in a back to tank with like long flowing locks. Look, he got like a Sephiroth or something in there now. So
there's some beautiful lady guy.
2023. So not this year. Sorry, everybody.
God, 2023 feels like it's the future, and it's barely the future.
It's like we're halfway there, you know?
Isn't that weird? I hate that.
April, May, June? June. It's June.
June. You're literally halfway there.
June. Yep.
Gross.
Yep. I don't know. I mean, like, the further it goes, the closer we are to it not being balls ass hot in this state.
Yeah.
Like, we also got in other LucasArts news, you guys remember Indiana Jones is also from LucasArts, and last year or the year before, it was announced at Bethesda Showcase that Machine Games, the company that makes the Wolfenstein, is going to be making an Indiana Jones game. It was like really briefly teased. It was just kind of like going across a map, and there was a whip and a hat, and you know, yeah. We got a report this week from a leaker that said that this is probably not going to end up being an Xbox exclusive because Bethesda is now owned by Xbox.
Yeah.
But that this was probably started in production before that acquisition happened, and so it's probably going to be for all the stuff.
Yeah.
So
all of the things.
Yep. I just want to see some. Just show me some Indiana Jones.
Is Harrison Ford doing the voice of it, or are you going to get somebody that kind of sounds like Harrison Ford?
Apparently he's doing another fucking movie, even though he's like 160 years old.
My favorite thing about Harrison Harrison Ford is that instead of just saying no and not allowing them to do these movies with him anymore, he goes, "Oh, I'll do it, but you have to kill off my fucking character." He's gonna go systematically through every iconic character he's ever played and just make people to kill them. That is fantastic. Most actors would not do that. They would just be like, "I'm done with this character and I'd like to move on." Harrison Ford's like, "I'm gonna kill this character."
Look, I'll be in your movie, but I'm gonna get high and I'm not gonna have a good time. I'm gonna be mad and high. I'm gonna be angry and stoned this entire time.
And then Hollywood's like, "Yeah, we've worked with Joaquin Phoenix before, so it's fine."
I mean, wasn't that supposed to wasn't Indiana Jones 4 supposed to pass the torch to Mutt?
Yeah, it was supposed to pass the torch. Unfortunately, the person they picked to pass the torch to was fucking Shia LaBeouf. And I didn't dislike him in that movie. I didn't dislike the idea, the general premise of that movie. But boy, did they fuck that shit up real hard.
Yep. In other Microsoft news, Microsoft has basically, this is nothing to write home about. Microsoft has come out and basically said that they will respect the union organizing efforts of Raven Software that went through last week, and that they're willing, once the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, which Raven is a part, goes through, that they'll be willing to essentially negotiate with the labor union that they formed. This is not the time to be a shit about this.
Yeah.
So
see what happens when you're anti-union right now.
Yeah.
Go ahead and see.
Yeah. So, one of their people came out and basically was like, our employees do not need to organize to have a dialogue with Microsoft's leaders, but we also recognize the workplace is changing. That's why we are sharing principles to guide our approach with labor organizations. And they got a blog and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and
blah, blah, blah.
I think I said this in the last week because last week they finally went through the vote and actually organized. I think the party is kind of over about we're just going to abuse our employees and then pay them like shit and then treat them like shit.
And get away with it, yeah.
And then nobody's going to do anything about it and fuck you, we're the ones that are in charge. Kiss the ring because the power dynamic has shifted somewhat between Twitter and some of this organizing that's happened.
It's not even just video games, oddly enough. I don't
Starbucks and Amazon.
Well, and even in Austin, they're talking about doing. There's been some rumbling about doing a bakers union just for all bakers all around. But even in professional wrestling, this is the dumbest news anyone's going to hear from me. Freddie Prinze Jr., actor extraordinaire, is a huge wrestling fan. He wrote for WWE for a while.
Okay.
He is starting his own company or trying to right now. His goal is to get all of his wrestlers on the Screen Actors Guild. If he succeeds in that, and it makes sense because they're performing talent, they are actually acting.
Sure.
They're
on the screen.
I hate to break it to people, but they're actors essentially.
Stunt people.
Yeah, they're equivalent to stuntmen.
Have lines.
And so he is hoping to do that. If he does that, that actually alters what any televised wrestling can do. And it changes. He can essentially set the domino to change how wrestling is handled.
Yeah.
And most wrestlers have been walking out of companies mid-contract just to be you're treating me like shit. You can't treat me like I'm not a fucking human.
Yeah.
And it's just changing the entire scope of things. And it's just across the board everywhere. People are kind of having that.
I mean, it should be self-evident to anybody, but you can really only abuse people for so long.
Yeah.
Of any category. People that feel like they are not listened to and shit on will take a certain amount of shit, but eventually you hit a critical mass of poop and then stuff like this happens. And I feel like at this point a lot of industries are like, no, seriously, we'll give you $2 an hour raises. And it's like, no, if you'd done that 4 years ago we would be fine at this point. But you can't push it until it breaks, and then you can't put
and then regress
the
back
toothpaste back in the tube, right? The toothpaste is everywhere. It's everywhere now.
It's so fucking minty around here.
So yeah, we'll see how that goes. In other CEO news, it's not often that I agree with Strauss Zelnick, the CEO of Take-Two Interactive, who, in my opinion, is kind of a piece of shit. However, he was giving an interview last week. Where was he giving an interview with? I don't remember. GameIndustry.biz. And he had some interesting thoughts about the whole concept of a quote-unquote metaverse. And again, it is not often that I agree with Strauss Zelnick because I really fucking hate his guts and I think he's shit. But some of this stuff is really interesting. So first off, he talks about like about how Take-Two technically has 3 different what you could classify, because Metaverse doesn't mean anything. You technically classify as a Metaverse project. Grand Theft Auto Online, Red Dead Redemption 2 Online, and NBA 2K Online all have socialized spaces where people can go interact and do stuff, which is essentially what Metaverse is.
Right.
And so he feels like there's no need to force the concept because they're already doing it, which is a very good point, right? Like there was no reason that you have to call things this buzzword that have existed for fucking years.
Yeah, like you'd already struck oil and you're still drilling. Like,
right.
What are you doing?
EverQuest was technically what you're describing. The PlayStation Home, remember that whole piece of shit? But then he also goes and he says, well, this is a quote, "I think where my skepticism lies is every company suddenly believing that by saying the word metaverse adjacent to their company's business strategy, that means that somehow they'll be transformed and nirvana is around the corner. And naturally, that's not the case. Entertaining people is really hard. Building hip properties is incredibly hard. It costs a lot of money. It takes a lot of time. There's a massive amount of risk to it. So when a company that didn't exist 2 years ago launches with a white paper, a blockchain-based metaverse, and sells hundreds of millions of dollars of digital real estate in a 2-day period, sure, I'm a little skeptical because I have a healthy respect for how hard it is to entertain people within that real estate. And in the absence of giving people a reason to visit, I don't know why the real estate has any value. And that seems to have been lost in the shuffle, which is all incredibly
correct.
Yeah, like grounded and reasonable. And like just making the hot new thing. I think at a certain point here, he compares it a little bit to the .com bubble burst.
Yeah.
About how it was like you did get good things out of that, but like by the same token, people were investing way too much money in shit that like even at the time you could look at and go like, how is this going to be worth $1 billion?
Yeah.
Like
just like all it takes is just 2 seconds of like questioning,
right,
to make it crumble.
You just have to get out of the pool, and then it's really cold outside. If you get back in the pool, like, oh, it's fine in here.
Yeah.
But like if you get out of the pool, and then it's like, what the fuck is going on out here?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't like to agree with Strauss Zelnick, but he kind of has a point. And Amanda, I know how much you're not a big fan of it, but I have one more quick blockchain story.
Okay.
NFT story. Because
oh, I know about this one.
last week, there was a Ni no Kuni MMO called Ni no Kuni Cross Worlds that came out. And I actually talked about it on the podcast because I was like, oh, it looks really cool. I haven't downloaded it. I don't know anything about it. Came out in Japan like a year ago. It's kind of finally came out here for phones and PCs and everything. Apparently, this thing is just laden with fucking crypto bullshit.
Yeah.
So you can apparently use the currency in the game can be transferred into tokens that can then be sold on through their wallet exchange into actual cryptocurrency. Apparently there have been some reports that like it's a gacha game, so it's like, you get the loot boxes and you get like randomized stuff.
Yeah.
But if you buy their cryptocurrency, you can just buy what you want. So like if you're willing to get into their fucking cryptocurrency market, they'll allow you to just bypass the randomization and just get exactly what you want.
Yeah.
But you have to pay the money into their crypto exchange in order to do that. Not just that, but also on their actual website. Well, this is on their token website. They have a roadmap. Oh, it isn't this one. I clicked on the wrong one. They have a roadmap, and that roadmap has the staking system in Q3 of 2022, and in Q4 of 2022, NFTs, baby!
Great. Fantastic. Wonderful.
I feel like at this point, it's just like, guys, it's done.
Yeah,
like it's already dead. Like anybody who has their hands even remotely near the pulse of this thing has known that the fish has started to stink. Like it's only going to get worse from here.
Yeah.
I don't think that anybody's going to come along and suddenly make NFTs into the brilliant thing that they were always supposed to be.
Yeah.
or if they do, they're going to start from scratch. It's not going to be the existing marketplace. It'll be a new marketplace that's,
for some reason makes more sense or
backed by
better.
The securities market. All I care about is that there's some enforcement mechanism so that if somebody steals shit from you, there is somebody to call to go get your shit back. Like, what is the point of having an unchangeable ledger of all the transactions that happen if when you get tricked, you can't say, I was tricked, return my thing. Look, you could look at the transaction and I didn't pay any money for it. It just got transferred out.
Yep.
Why would I do that? Give me back my ape. And that there's a fucking Wookiee cop there to be like, you give him back his ape. And then,
no, we're not turning this into an NFT show, Jeff.
The whole show is an NFT.
Oh, my God.
No, seriously, there are ways that this technology could work. I actually think that there's probably that the way to make the technology work is not bracketing shit on top of the already broken concept. It's taking the concept and doing it correctly from the ground up in conjunction. Well, maybe you can, maybe you can't. The whole problem is it's disconnected from fiat currency, so it's not connected to any actual currency in the world. And so it means that there's no, the reason that the United States dollar doesn't just fucking go up and down and up and down and up and down like crazy is because it's secured by our financial institutions and the federal government, right? Like, I don't know how you make a stable currency without that like if Elon Musk tweets something doesn't make the value of your currency. Not like a thing, not the Nino Kuni helmet, but like the value of the dollar change depending on what fucking Elon Musk tweets.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of system is that? You don't want to be part of that system. Nobody wants to be part of that system.
Elon Musk wants to be a part of that system.
I'm so glad that guy is becoming increasingly irrelevant and that we don't give a shit what he says anymore, because there's never any reason to give a shit what he said in the first place.
Yep.
Keep in mind, from here on out, he's not going to fucking buy Twitter. That was a stunt. And everybody fell for it and got pissed off, and it didn't fucking happen because he's a troll. He's a rich fucking troll.
Yeah, and he knows how to fucking divert attention.
Yeah.
What a weird thing to offer to do that right around the same time that you were charged with sexual misconduct and harassing a woman. Oh, what?
Crazy. What?
Say what? I can't believe it doesn't sound like something he would do. Sorry.
Totally sounds like something he would do. Let's see. What are we at? Oh, boy. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Okay, keep it going.
Should we talk about Pokemon some more?
I don't know. We went through Pokemon pretty fast. Diablo Immortal came out last week, which is the phone game, and it's also on the PC, and it's kind of weird, and there will be dojos of it with me and John sitting tomorrow. So.
Oh, I've heard of that guy.
Bada bing, bang, boom. However, it is not being released in Belgium or the Netherlands. Because Belgium and the Netherlands and Holland have laws that say that you cannot have loot boxes in your game full stop.
Oh, fair.
And I think that this is really interesting because the loot boxes are so ingrained into this game that they can't just turn it off and then release it there and like sell cosmetics, right?
Just a character standing there not doing anything.
or that it's not worth it for them to do that. Like they're going to make the money off of the loot boxes and blah 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 blah. And it's a real shame because I feel like the fact that they're not releasing it in two countries, like countries in Europe, like not like islands or like provinces or whatever, like two full-on countries in Europe that can't play this game because the loot boxes are so ingrained in it that you can't turn them off and still have the game be functional or make any money, or that it's so onerous to do so that they would just prefer to not even launch the new Diablo game in two European countries. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, that's a little crazy.
Yep. Let's see. So you want to play a good game? Good Diablo game.
Yeah.
This is the second week in a row. I swear to God. I was getting ready for the podcast last week, and there was a news story that was like, V Rising, 500,000 copies sold. And then by the time that we got to the podcast, it was like, V Rising, 1 million copies sold.
Nice.
And then at this point, this was like 3-4 days ago, V Rising, 1.5 million copies sold.
Nice.
This is an indie dev, man. But like, I got to say, I have been playing the shit out of nothing but this, like for a week and a half straight. I spent $20 to rent the server. There's a RageSelect dedicated server.
Hell yeah, there is.
Access. It's like, what if Diablo also had Minecraft like building and crafting and looting, and it's got this great loop where like you get new weapons to hunt down boss bounties that then unlock production facilities that then give you the ability to manufacture new materials that then let you make better weapons that then let you kill new bosses. But then it's also a weird vampire game, so you can only do stuff like at night because during the day the sun burns.
Nice. Same.
And then when you build something, you build a giant gothic castle full of crazy like blood contraptions and shit, and like you do. Yeah. So
that sounds fun.
It rules.
Yeah.
It's so good. Like I'm so glad that these guys are succeeding, because this game is the big new indie darling on Steam, and like it deserves it. It rules like a motherfucker. So boom. Tell you what doesn't rule. Cyberpunk 2077. But speaking of big sales, they saw 600% spike in sales from when they released the PS5 and Xbox Series X versions of Cyberpunk 2077.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it makes sense, right? Because people like held out.
Yes.
Until they were like, look, obviously it's not fucking working, so we'll wait. It's almost like had they waited to release it until it was like a fully functional game, they could have made a really decent sales.
Actually, see, the problem with Cyberpunk 2077 is if you turn off the emotion chip and then you like look at what happened with Cyberpunk 2077, it's a resounding success.
Yeah.
They had a full refund program that like it was like 4% of people that pre-ordered the game took advantage of.
Yeah.
Like people just kept a broken game that they couldn't really play, and then they waited for it to get fixed, and then like as they fixed it, it kept selling more and more and more and more.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the anti No Man's Sky in some ways. I mean, they've technically fixed it, but like yeah, the lesson was not, well, you should never release release a fucked up game.
Well, I mean, yeah, I understand.
Did, and they made a shitload of money.
Yeah, I understand they made a shitload of money, but also like they did lose the goodwill of their fan base.
I don't think they did.
Really?
I really don't think they did.
They just got lambasted all day, every day.
They did, but the thing is that
like I get that people will still buy it, but like people talk about how horrible McDonald's is and everyone eats that shit every other day. But well, like I just mean like there's still, I don't know, something to be a company that doesn't get, I don't know.
I mean, no, I think that what you're saying makes absolute 100% perfect sense, but I think the McDonald's analogy is really good, where like CD Projekt Red doesn't care whether people are mean to them on Twitter, they care whether people pay $60 for Cyberpunk 2077. Like you can be as mean as you want to, you post all the gifs of like
that's
shit.
Like this is luck though, like in a sense, like it's, you can't hope that every time you fuck with your audience in this way, you release a broken game, that you're going to get a 600% sale.
See, and that's true, but I think that CD Projekt Red
what a shit business model to be like, sure, when we release the game initially, everyone's going to hate it, tell us we're horrible, and just bombard us with hate all over the internet. Nobody, like, everyone's mad, everyone's pissed. We have to create a refund policy for it, and then we'll have success later. Like, maybe not the strongest business policy. It worked once, maybe it'll work twice. It might even work 5 times. But eventually, you're going to make something that people are going to be like, you know what, that's enough.
Unfortunately, I think that 2 things. One,
wrong.
Well, no, the problem is CD Projekt Red. Yeah. Like their next project is Witcher 4. They will put out a trailer for Witcher 4 and everybody will go pre-order it, and they will completely, the brains will just fall out of their head. They'll pre-order 4 copies even though they only have 1 computer. They won't give a shit. They'll order it because it's The Witcher and they care more about The Witcher than they do about their money or whether or not it's a quality product or whether this exact company fucked them last time they did anything for it. But then the second part is that The Witcher 4 is being developed on Unreal Engine 5, which from everything I've seen is incredibly easy to develop for, is not full of shitty bugs, is very scalable, so it works on a lot of different stuff. The thing is that Cyberpunk was made on their own internal engine, and that engine, I believe, caused a lot of the performance issues. Or if they're just licensing the engine from Unreal, then Unreal is the one who has to make the performance gains, and it's just up to them to go through and make stuff. And like, again, people have been slapping together like video game concepts with just pre-made assets off of the Unreal store, and they look like fucking AAA games from last year.
Yeah.
Like, so I have no doubt that one, nobody will care when it's called The Witcher, and then two, it'll probably be a very good game because they'll be able to just make what they want and not have to worry about optimization.
I mean, also in fairness, is that not also a learning experience that we were going to use our own engine, but all of our issues were in our own engine, so we moved on?
Probably.
Like, sure, success, whatever, but they did take something away from it.
Yes. Also, though, I think that we are right on the cusp. I mean, you and I did the podcast when Unreal Engine 5 was released.
Yeah, I still really want it.
Fucking videos.
Yeah.
And I think that we are 6 months to a year from basically a revolution in the quality of video games. That once Unreal Engine 5 starts the things that I'm looking at look like professionally made video games, and they're being made by modders and enthusiasts and just people with a YouTube channel,
15-year-olds on the fucking,
What happens when somebody who's been working at Rockstar for 20 years gets their hands on Unreal Engine 5, somebody who's used to having to make all the lighting and the tech from scrap, and then is able to spend all their time with the detail and coming up with interesting gameplay stuff. People that used to put tons of time and effort into making engines or making lighting engines or making the style that looks correct for your stuff. Think of how fast Remedy could poop out Control if they started from scratch with UE5 instead of having to make that stuff, because the thing is that I think that Unreal Engine 5 also represents a quantum increase in the simplicity and ease of use over the last Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
Not even just compared to internal tools, but just over the last engine, it's already got stuff to just make it easier. And so I think that we're going to start seeing games that look a lot better, and they're going to come out faster, and they're going to be better because people can concentrate more on just the gameplay and less on making sure the lighting engine looks correct.
Right.
But we'll see. I don't know. Maybe we'll see in this. No, this is not true. That was a bad transition. In other Cyberpunk news, we also have there was a bunch of, one of the updates had what appears to be all of the voice script for the expansion that they're coming out with next year.
Oh, oops. Yeah.
They got data mined out of it. So it appears that there's going to be kind of one big area called Pacifica that's going to have some new quest people. Making story DLC for Cyberpunk is a little tricky because you're never going to get Keanu Reeves to come back and record more Johnny Silverhand dialogue for you. So you're kind of going to have to either come up with a reason not to have him be there or reuse existing stuff that's there because, you're
I would
probably
just
not going to
force them to read everything anyone wrote ever. A bunch of Cyberpunk fan fiction and shit, and just be I don't know, maybe we'll use it, maybe we won't.
Yep.
Otherwise, we just have countless saved files of Keanu just chit-chatting away.
So could you do that thing where we just plug every movie he's ever been in into one of those voice AI things, so we could just have a Keanu that we can all just make say whatever the fuck we want at any time.
Yes, are you kidding me?
So keep an eye out for that. There's a little bit more detail, but we're gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast, like Sonic the Hedgehog in a vast empty land.
Yep. In other weird news, Multiversus is the big new Warner Brothers crossover thing. I don't know if you saw the trailer for that, where it's this is Warner Brothers Smash.
Oh yeah, actually,
yeah,
I
it was
do know,
Shaggy and Batman versus Harley Quinn and the Tasmanian Devil and all that stuff. There's been some people that doing data mining that think that they might have come up with some characters, probably not all in the game, but this is kind of an insider with now. This is the person who leaked that Multiversus was a thing in the first place, so they've got a good track record. So we've got some stuff here: Joker, Raven from DC, Gizmo from Gremlins,
nice, that's
Marvin
a good
the Martian, LeBron James, Rick and Morty from Rick and Morty, Scooby Doo, Daenerys Targaryen, the Hound, the Wicked Witch from Wizard of Oz, Godzilla,
nice,
Johnny Bravo,
that's a good one,
Fred Flintstone. These are way further down on the list, so these are long shots.
Yeah,
Samurai Jack, the Powerpuff Girls, all three as one fighter. The Animaniacs, all three as one fighter. Duck Dodgers.
Hell yeah, Duck Dodgers.
Scorpion was given the way that
Kombat.
the game is it's a little bit more lighthearted, cartoon brawling. than Scorpion.
Scorpion participated when they had the friendship fatalities, so
that's true.
He's already kid friendly.
Ben 10 from Ben 10 and Ben 10, and then the one I do not understand, Theodore Lasso from the show Ted Lasso.
Yep. Is that? Is he just gonna like kick soccer balls at him or hug people?
He doesn't play soccer.
Oh,
he's the coach. Like he doesn't ever play soccer in the game.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
And he's very like Mr. Rogers OG Whiz. Like he's not like I'm gonna punch somebody. But the thing is, at the end of the trailer that they had that came out last week or the week before or whatever that came out 2 weeks ago. Superman came up and he was like, look, this is like a job for, and then the Iron Giant came behind him and was like, Superman. And he was like, you're with me. And then they go into the brawl and everybody was like, have you watched the Iron Giant? Because this is directly contravening like all of the characterization of the Iron Giant not wanting to be violent.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But like I don't understand how Ted Lasso, even if they put him in there, like I understand how everybody else on that list would fight, but not Ted Lasso. Like I don't understand how that would work.
Yeah, I don't either.
Unless maybe he was like kind of like the Pokemon trainer, and it was just like all the soccer
just, like,
characters.
Throws out soccer.
Like
players.
Jamie and Jamie Tart. And,
I kind of love that idea.
Keely
he's
and
just
his
like,
boss.
Just like shouting motivational things at people.
It would be very strange.
Do it. You could do it. Yeah.
Very strange.
You just have to have fun with it.
Let's see. We're going to skip this Gotham Knights thing. Well, no, actually, let's talk about it real fast. Gotham Knights is the new Batman game that's coming out. They rewrote the backstory for Barbara Gordon because the way that they wrote it, it sounded as though it was like, Barbara Gordon was injured and she was in a wheelchair and then she was Oracle. And then after her after her father's death, she was so angry that she got up out of her wheelchair and started fighting crime again. And everybody was like,
what?
Yeah, that's not how like being in a wheelchair works. And so they changed it to be like they changed a bunch of stuff but they changed it to be like, it's now with like rehabilitation and retraining, she was able to get back on the front lines and blah 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 blah.
Sure.
Because it's not like
it happened in the comics, so you can't even be mad.
I mean, in the comics, it took like a decade, and then like magic and surgery and cybernetics or whatever to like finally bring her back as Batgirl.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just a kind of like, ooh, I'm so mad. Robin, hold me up while I make my legs work again. Like,
it's just two Robins holding her arms up and then her just dingle-dangling legs that don't work.
But then there's a lot of like weird shit. Like, apparently the Red Hood has like these, like, he's like ghost powers.
What?
And they're like, why does he have ghost powers? And it's like, well, because he came back to life through the Lazarus pit, and that left like a metaphysical, magical scar on him, and he's discovering his.
Have you guys read the books?
It doesn't sound like it.
But
But
like, I don't know, Lazarus pit. That's like magic, right? So he ended up with magic stuff, right? And it's just like
he's got like a double jump where he just like jumps on the air, like a platform appears under his feet. It's this like traversal mechanic, and it's like, what the fuck, you guys? Like, I don't. Just okay.
That's silly, goofy, guys. Come on.
Also, Gotham Knights is apparently no longer going to be coming out in Russia.
Oh, shame.
Yep. The site got delisted and it was taken off of Steam. In other Steam news, the Steam docking station has been delayed indefinitely. The Steam Deck docking station has been delayed indefinitely. This is apparently due to supply chain issues and part shortages. There's supposed to be a docking station that you could dock it, kind of like the Switch, and then get it going on TV.
Yeah.
It is not canceled, but it has been delayed. So
sorry, deck docking is real close to something else, and that's hilarious.
Yes.
All I can think about. I'm so sorry.
Team Fortress 2 might actually be fixed.
What?
Yeah, apparently after enough
someone bored at fucking Valve decided to jump in.
Yep, at Team Fortress, the Team Fortress Twitter account. I didn't know this, but apparently the biggest bot problems in Team Fortress, they started happening in like late 2019, early 2020. So it's not like it's been something that's been happening for like 10 years now. But yeah, they tweeted out, TF2 community, we hear you. We love this game. And we know you do too. We see how large this issue has become. We're working to improve things. So who knows? Maybe Team Fortress 2 will be functional at some point.
That'd be nice.
Speaking of online multiplayer stuff, we found out that Modern Warfare 2 is getting a reveal for June 8th and is probably going to be on Steam. Steam the Steam Twitter account actually posted this, which because Activision Blizzard right now, if you play modern or play any Call of Duty on the PC, you do it through Battle.net,
right?
As opposed to Steam, and people don't like it when they can't use their Steam because they can't get their Steam to get like old babies and they're wah 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 wah. So
yeah, same.
They also put out the official Ultimate Team teaser, which is a bunch of guys in live action driving around in like a APC while people shoot at them, and they're all just grim. They're grim guys.
Yeah, so just tough dudes.
And then they jump out the back, and there's a bunch of people shooting with the machine guns, and they're like, ah. And then what does it say? It says something stupid. The ultimate weapon is team. And I'm like, you've never played a game online, have you?
Boo! Yeah.
So, yeah. From there, we have the trailers for... actually, I'm going to cut some of the stuff. Knockout City Season 6 started, which means that it's now free to play.
Nice.
So if you want to play some dodgeball, you can do that.
Dodgeball.
Fortnite got a teaser for Chapter 3 of Season 2, which I wouldn't mention, except it's got a giant fuck-off robot.
Oh, hell yeah.
And all the Fortniters
that
looks
like the Pacific Rim robot.
Like Gypsy Danger.
Gypsy Danger.
And they all look like Voltrons. They're all dressed like Voltrons.
They are.
But they also have animal ears, and so does the giant robot.
Who doesn't? Yeah, he looks like a teddy bear.
Build teddy bear ears.
He's like, yeah, if FNAF and Pacific Rim had a baby.
I don't know what the fuck this is, but if it's got a giant robot, who knows? Maybe Matt and I will be playing another online multiplayer game.
God damn.
We did win in Warzone.
How did that feel, Jeff?
Oh, I didn't do it. Jason did it. But I'm pretty sure that Jason did do it because we got killed. I think that we went down. I think the thing is that Godzilla was getting ready to do atomic breath right through the last area in the shrinking circle. And we were downed, but not dead. And I think that Jason was running to us.
Jason or Matt? Who were you playing with?
Matt and I were here, but Jason was playing with us.
Okay.
And that Jason was running to us to revive us, and then the atomic breath wiped everyone out.
Oh.
And then we were technically the last ones alive, and then we won.
Nice.
I think that's what happened. I don't know because I don't know, but that's what I think happened. But we got a trailer for SD Gundam Battle Alliance, which is a little... I don't know if it's okay to... Do you know what SD stands for? Like that's what the little chibi-ish characters are?
No.
It's super deformed. Is
that really what it's...
Yeah, that's what SD and SD
that's funny.
Stuff stands for. But I mean, technically at this point, it just means like when you take characters and make them like little squat characters.
Yeah, you make them a little... Yeah, they're so cute.
Yeah, so there's a whole weird new Gundam third-person action game, but then it's got like a weird multiverse thing where like characters are getting changed in their realities and pulled into different universes. And I really wish the Gundams were regular size because I like them when they're regular and not.
You don't like little cute little pocket Gundam?
Not really.
Hey, little pocket Gundams. They're cute.
It also looks like it's going to have some kind of gacha component, but who can say?
They look like Funko Pops.
I just want to play. They're making the one that's it's an Overwatch. It's a Gundam Overwatch.
No.
And I want to play it real bad.
Nice.
Michael and I are going to play the hell out of it. So, Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed got a release date. This is the remake of Destroy All Humans 2. I'm sure the remake of Destroy All Humans 1 was very profitable. And so, yeah, we got a release date of August 30th.
The day before my birthday.
Yeah. And if you preload or if you pre-order the game, they actually just put out last week, you get it for free or you can buy it all on its own, a 4-person co-op adversarial kind of multiplayer thing.
Oh, that's fun.
You can go around and shoot people. So, yeah, it looks all right. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've never been the biggest Destroy All Humans fan, but it's
fun enough. Yeah.
So, I don't know how well it really holds up, but...
Probably not that well.
It's fine. Let's see. Behind the Frame got a launch trailer because this finally came out on the PlayStation 5 and PS4. This was on Steam a while back. I keep meaning to play this on RageSelect.
I remember you telling me about it.
Yeah, but it's now on the consoles. But I don't want to play it on the consoles because it obviously is going to have like a virtual mouse control, and I hate it when that happens.
Yeah.
But
this whole thing looks like it should be like lo-fi beats to study to.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
when I was playing Weed Shop Simulator, I would put on the lo-fi beats to study to.
I love it.
But this game is very gorgeous. I don't know. I need to get this on here at some point.
Yeah, I want to be here for this.
Yeah, show somebody what's going on. Yeah. Monument Valley is also getting a panoramic collection. So Monument Valley is a phone game. It was very well received, and now they're spacing it out into like full HD, play it on a console.
Nice.
And it's Monument Valley 1 and Monument Valley 2 all in one package. Which is cool because I always thought this game was interesting. I have absolutely no interest in playing games on my cellular telephone.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit if it's the best game. I still don't want to play it on my fucking
phone.
cellular telephone. So, and that's coming in July. So right around the corner, July 12th.
Right there. Yeah.
We also got a trailer for Inkbound. This is a new game from the people that made Slay the Spire, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Monster Train, not Slay the Spire. Monster Train.
I was going to say.
And this is like this weird kind of roguelike tactical card game with like this weird kind of fairy tale writing becomes reality thing, but it's got this really clean and nice like kind of third person top down ARPG perspective, which every time I see a game that looks like this and then it looks like there's no red flags in my eyes when I look at it, it's just like, that looks cool, I would like to play it.
I love the little character designs for those guys.
Yeah
Looks clean. Crisp and clean, baby.
So they're getting ready to do a beta for it. Yeah, and this is just the full announcement for it. I think it was teased at a certain point, but I wish you could hear this, Amanda. But the Yu Suzuki, the guy that made Shenmue and Space Harrier and Virtua Fighter, is making a new game called Air Twister that is from his company EaseNet that made Shenmue, and it's coming exclusively to Apple Arcade. And it looks like Space Harrier, except or Panzer Dragoon a little bit. And it's this lady, and her goose got hurt. Her giant flying goose got hurt, and so she's flying through the air, and she's shooting people. And it looks exactly like Space Harrier, the old Space Harrier game. But what you're not hearing is that they were like, what should the soundtrack be? And they were like, Queen. They were like, okay, well, Freddie Mercury's dead. And they're like, I don't give a fuck. Go find a band that could do Queen and tell them to write new Queen songs. It sounds exactly like Queen.
Really?
Like it's uncanny how much it sounds like Queen.
That's amazing.
In the background, like you got to hear it because it's fucking insane. It looks really weird.
Yeah. It's a strange. There's literally just mushrooms floating through the air, and the skeleton of a dragon flying by. And why are there manta rays in a desert? I don't understand.
What's
what
with
I'm
the giant
at.
swans? Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
Who the fuck knows? So
I don't.
And then a sassy lady with a crossbow and a suit and a swan. I don't fucking know.
Sounds about right.
Anyway, Darkest Dungeon 2 has a full release date. February 2023 is currently in early access on Epic, but 2023 February it's going to be on Steam and the Epic Game Store. So good news for all you Darkest Dungeon fans. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 is getting ported over to the Switch by, I believe, the same team that's done all of them, the Jedi Knights and Jedi Academy and KOTOR 1 and all that stuff. So yeah, in June you can grab that from June 8th. You can grab that. Dragon Age, the next Dragon Age game got a name, Dragon Age Dreadwolf.
That's a good name.
And a little bit of information where apparently Solus, who was this elf guy of kind of questionable moral integrity, is going to be like the bad guy who's been elevated to this kind of...
He's like,
I don't remember.
No more questions about my morals.
Right. I've been completely uninterested in Dragon Age, but some people really like it, so I'm sure that they can explain to anybody who cares why Solus is a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, I do know that Solus is in your party in like the first one and maybe 2 or maybe 1 and 3.
So you kind of just been following this guy's story into being a bad guy?
Yeah, like he's kind of, well, I feel like he
became the long-term storytelling of several games.
Yeah, that he was like because elves are all super oppressed in this world, and then it's like as time has gone on and he's seen the oppression of the people and he's gained more power, that he's now kind of turning heel. There you go.
There you go.
Used
use wrestling terms, baby.
All right. And
that's my influence, everyone. That's what I've brought to the table.
Super Nintendo World is going to be in United States Universal Studios in 2023.
I'm so fucking excited. John and I are like, how can we plan this?
It's funny because somebody in the Discord was like, well, now you don't have to go to Japan. And I'm like, no, I still want to go to Japan. I want to go to Japan.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't just want to go to Japan to go to to ride a Mario roller coaster. There was a lot of other reasons why I wanted to go to Japan.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck is this an ad for?
Love After Chaos.
In Kroonman, this fancy guy with bubbles and a vest shirt.
Not 100%.
What the fuck is this?
Don't hit that ad. Oh my God, it's clothing.
Oh, it's Pride Month clothing.
Oh wow.
What? Oh my God.
Those are shiny fabrics.
Holy shit.
That's like what Harry Styles wear. Yeah, that's
okay.
But it's fitted for a male body.
Okay,
or
cool.
a more masculine presenting body.
Hey man, I've worn dresses before. They're really fucking comfortable. I just wish...
they are becoming a more popular thing. A pro wrestler that's, as far as I can tell, cis het dude wore a skirt and nobody said anything about it. He just wrestled in a straight up skirt.
This one just have like nips built.
Yeah, I mean, are those cuts not supposed to be like, look, I have abs? That looks like.
Yeah, I guess. Yep. Okay. Wow, these are.
Some are cool. Some are like somebody watched a trailer for a Matrix movie once.
Holy shit.
And then went to a BDS club right afterwards.
Okay, so I don't want to get.
We are derailed.
I don't want to get in trouble, Amanda. But what I say is like, I wish that there were dresses for men that were less gay than this.
Right, you want to be a masculine presenting,
and not like a kilt. I just wish there was just kind of like, I don't know.
We're getting there though. I'm telling you, we're getting there.
Because if I am not allowed to wear jorts, the best thing I could do is wear some like nice.
Is saying you can't. I'm wearing jorts right now.
Everybody told me to. Actually,
no. It was hilarious to make fun of people for wearing jorts.
Nobody told me I couldn't wear jorts, but everybody was judging me, and they were doing it for real. Not the paranoia part. They would just be like, "What's with the jorts?"
I really don't want to tell you this, but it's not because of the jorts that they were judging me.
Okay, well then I'm gonna start buying pink.
That's a dope suit. Why would you not want that? I feel like
I have the abs for that, or this fringe that's just like half a tank top, or what is this? It's just like
shorts that are held together.
It's like, okay, there's like
they're
shorts,
pants, but they're held like garters holding the bottom half of the pants.
Yeah, then there's like kind of like leg warmers, but they're connected with like.
This looks like masculine Fashion Nova. You won't understand this, but perhaps there is.
My God! Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, hey man, I don't give a shit. Like you.
Wow, you really have to be somebody with abs for half of these outfits.
Yeah, like I can't wear any of this stuff. I'm gonna look like crap.
Wow, Jeff, I'm gonna get you a whole new wardrobe for Christmas.
I will throw it away and buy more black t-shirts. I mean, look,
some
man.
are really cool. I think you could rock some of this.
If I had hair and like a good body, I might put some of this shit on.
Yeah.
But also, I don't want to have to fend off all the dudes that are going to be asking me for my number and just be like,
don't
hey,
fend them off. Take them all.
sorry, gents. I just like how fancy these clothes are.
I just wanted to feel nice for once.
Yeah.
I dress for me, not for the male gaze.
Seriously, I want to see somebody wearing this.
You are. You're literally
puffy,
looking at that's a bit much.
See-through, pink, collared,
but like
puffy sleeves. Metallic.
Yeah,
like,
it looks like it was rendered incorrectly.
Princess Peach.
Yeah.
Is going to the gay bar.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell is going on.
I
there.
would buy that and be Princess Peach going to the gay bar.
Glad I clicked on that link.
Yeah, me too. I was real worried. I was like, you're gonna end up on some weird porn site, and in a way, you did.
Damn it! I don't have time to go over this story, but it's kind of amazing. Everybody should look this up. Last week there was a big kerfuffle. I'm going to go over the basics of this in the old ass computer game collector circles. There was a person who was selling like 40-year-old copies of Ultima like in the box with the original stuff, and this week some people finally kind of found out that like no, these are not originals, these are forgeries. That they're like recreating the boxes, reprinting like the manuals, and this stuff is like is very rare. Like it's not stuff that you get. You're talking about like copies of Ultima 1, but then the kicker for this was that it turns out that a bunch of the discs didn't have anything on them. And the thing is that when you first say that, people might be like, well, how the fuck did you buy something you didn't own on the disc? This is not for using. This is for like collection. And the last thing you want to do is take a 5 1/4 inch disc that's 40 years old and put it into hardware and then have it get damaged to check to see if there's a game that's everywhere that you can download for free everywhere and run everywhere.
Right.
So but yeah, it's a big kerfuffle in the retro game industry.
You can make a whole movie off of that.
Yeah.
It'd have a bitchin' soundtrack. You know it would.
And then also we had another retro story. This is really interesting. So there is what is this? It's in Dubai, I believe. Yes, Dubai-based private collection of vintage Apple projects that is actually putting up for auction a very, very, very rare. This is the Apple One.
God damn.
This is like
Steve Woz just up in his garage.
Steve Jobs and Wozniak, like they made this shit in their garage, and it's like you can see it's like a portable television, a tape recorder that holds like the operating system, a keyboard. It's been restored, and like this one, they actually brought it out when Steve Wozniak visited and had him sign this board.
That's crazy.
And and they're putting this up for auction, and the stated reason, I mean, somebody will pay a lot of money for this.
Yeah.
But the hope is that it will then be put somewhere where people can like see it in a more accessible place in this private collection in Dubai.
Yeah.
But it's kind of amazing because like the fact, in some ways it's amazing, in some ways it's not, because like when you're dealing with, you can count the number of chips on this board and there's like 40 of them total.
Yeah. But it's technological history.
Yes.
Like it's important in its own way.
I guess I feel like old technology doesn't die as fast because it's not as dense, so it doesn't have as much to burn out as quickly. But this has been beautifully restored and then kind of put together on this little wooden plank.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's very cool. It's amazing. So, yeah. And then last but not least, hey, look at that. There's some Elden Ring stuff. There's a pre-order trailer for these little collectible characters that they're putting out. No, I don't like stuff.
I don't like things.
It's stuff. You've got to keep track of stuff. What is that? Morbius and Elden Ring PvP build. Man, fuck you guys. Make Venom popular, not Morbius. I'm tired of this Morbium bullshit. Anyway, these little mini fig arts minis are pretty cool. There's one for the.
It creeps me out that they had a move in there.
Yeah,
trailer
to show it, and that's it.
Nice.
That's the podcast. We went a little over, not too far. We got through a lot today, though.
We did.
We got
powered through.
Yeah, I didn't even have to cut that much. So yeah. Thanks, everybody, for listening. If you enjoyed this, maybe consider going to patreon.com/RageSelect. Patreon's been down a little bit recently, and I'd always appreciate, $5 a month. I get it if it's a big deal, if it's a problem. My man and I were just sitting here bitching about the cost of sandwiches and shit. So I get it if it's not a thing that's feasible, but if it is, maybe help us out.
Do you guys, keep eye on the economy by judging it on sandwich? Because we do sandwich here.
I follow the sandwich index.
Yeah,
every week I get up.
It's always sandwiches. Whenever we talk about economy, we're like, do you know how expensive getting a sandwich is right now?
It's SND on the NASDAQ is how you look. You see what the sandwich index is at this week. MailRageSelect.com is the email address if you want to send stuff in. Last week we actually answered 2 questions.
Nice.
So. Or come to the Discord server through the aforementioned Patreon. And if you want to play V Rising, I got a private server set up.
Hell
Just come to the Discord and play. That's it. So now we're done. It's Friday night.
Hell yeah.
It's time to party. Let's sandwiches.
Woo, woo, woo.
Sandwich time.
In this economy?
Now we're going to do it. We're going to splurge on sandwiches.